First of all, let's give a round of applause to Sister Jen and the Cultural Connection. We still have, we got some people coming on CP time. Might be out the door actually before they get here. But I needed to show that we can still have that coming in the background if you want to.
Okay, cool.
You can just turn it down. You get the visual. So this is actually my second time here, and actually my yacht is one of the sisters that I used to do an online class. How many people in here heard of my show, my radio show? Put your hand down, dude. I'm talking about you. You want everything. He's everything. You say you heard the show, right? Yeah, the show. I would say get a pen and a piece of paper, write it down. The show is got my Philly family over here. What's up? Overbrook in the building. Every Friday we do a show called Sabir Show. The show is live like every Friday. I don't think you ain't gonna see a show like this. I'm just being real with it. It ain't because I'm on it, but you're not gonna see a show like this because we touch on a lot of things. I go at a lot of people. We talk about a lot of politicians. I don't deal with emotions. I know Maya can attest to that because we did a virtual tour through Philadelphia one time on my online classes. But the show I started in 2003. 2003, this is before YouTube, Blog Talk. I'm going way back. YouTube, Blog Talk. What else is out right now?
Vimeo.
Vimeo wasn't even around. You're right. Wow. 2003, Vimeo wasn't even around. None of that stuff wasn't around. But this is before you can see people. You know, we started a radio show in Philly in 2003. What happened, my journey started me being in Sunni Islam. I went through all the schools of thoughts. I was in the Nation of Islam. I went through all the schools of thoughts. I ran across a brother by the name of Kamar Gabriel. The show was Sabir Show. I ain't forget it. So, the show was called Civil Alert in Philadelphia. And we were at WURD. It's one of what they say the only, I hate when people say that too. They used to get mad at me because I never would say the only black radio station. I used to hate that because we started everything. So ain't no, but they would get mad because I did not say that. The people at the station, but that was what you had to say when we come on, saying the only black radio station. Mind you, my mindset when I got to the radio station, I wasn't black. So it was like, I'm not going to say that. I was really heavy in it. I said, no, I'm not going to say that. So they would get mad at me. They tried to chastise me when I would come into the studio. Not Europeans, nobody else, it was our people that was there. I'm so serious, this is how it was. And what they do in my journey in this industry was like, I always fought against my own people. It really wasn't the European. It was our people who was doing it. Either it was jealousy or they didn't like what you were saying. That's just how it is. Right now, we dealing with some issues with Africa Bambaataa right now. I just left BAM, he's in Chicago. So we dealing with some issues with that. So when you're in the public's eye, they always got to have our people to come at you. Right. That's how they work. They don't have to physically touch you anymore. Right. They can send their people in, and it look just like us. So before I started doing radio, I had a brother in the Nation of Islam approach me. This is in 2002. He said, Sabir, this is what they're going to do to you. And I brought this to his attention. He said, brother, this is what they're going to do to you. He said, give you their woman. They tried that. Anybody know I'm in LA? They're all out there. Trust me. They love brothers. They try to touch my hair, but like, don't touch my hair. So serious. They like that. They love us, bro. Listen, I'm going to tell y'all, they love brothers. They will do anything for y'all. Trust me. And one was, every time they try to touch my hair, I'd be like, don't touch my hair. No. I like your locks. Yeah, that's good, but from a distance. Okay? That type, you know what I mean? But you never know who's coming. You know what I mean? You don't know how they're coming because they do it so smoothly. You know what I mean? And this is how they work. So the brother said they first give you their woman, try to discredit you. What do you say? Give you their money. Anybody know the last one? I told you the money, discredit you. Women, what's the last one?
Alcohol.
Nah, turn into a homosexual. Can't nobody turn you into a homosexual. You gay. Shoot, that's the discredit part. Like, try to say stuff like that. I'll be waiting for that to come. That ain't gonna happen. But say that again.
Alcohol and drugs.
Well, that happens all day now. Like I said, they got done. They done. That's one of the tricks. Kill you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, that's true.
That's how they do it. So if they don't like kill you, because if you look at what's happening, even through with Michael Jackson, they destroy these people. They destroy them. And what happens, some people have tough skin. Like, again, it's not always European. He'll whisper to one of us. And they say the cheapest thing you can buy is a nigga and stick and gun. Wow. I'm seeing it being real. This is how it is. So when I would go to the studio, I'm the one that had the sweatpants on with my pants leg rolled up. My co-host had the suit and tie. They thought it was him dropping all the law. But it wasn't him, it was me. So what they would do is try to get me to sway their way. They would say, yo, no, I'm a vegetarian. Well, if you do this, we'll give you a, McDonald's commercial, we'll do X, Y, Z. This is their game plan. And I understand it, I came in the nation, I understand their tricks. So they would do stuff like that. I mean, if you watch certain people like Flavor Flav, Ice Cube, I'm gonna give y'all some hints on stuff of how they did it with them. Remember when Flavor Flav did Hollywood Burn?
Yeah.
Burn, Hollywood Burn?
Yeah.
They put him in Hollywood, didn't they?
Sure
Shut up.
did.
Ice Cube said he would never wear Raiders and stuff no more, right? He's rocking the Raiders. You follow me? So what they do it smoothly. And sometimes some people think people are selling out, but if the conscious community is not supporting you, what happened? They want to go over there. This is the reality. I see a lot of conscious broke people. I'll be like, man, this is crazy. I'm being real. And I'm seeing it. So now what happens, that's an opening point for people to come in to sexy, pimp you. That's in the conscious community. This is happening right now. I've been doing this radio for, like I said, since 2003. Never gave up, never stopped. But it was always our people who were actually the ones that was trying to stop me. Again, it wasn't European. When I went into the radio station, they said, Sabir, come into the office. I never forget that day. I left that radio station in 2009. It's been a long time. They asked me to come into the office and said, well, we heard you was talking about the radio station, Sabir. I said, no, I wasn't. I was talking about the people at the station. That's how I did it. And they got mad at me. See, the best thing we can do is have media. Media is the most powerful tool. Malcolm said that, and Noble Drawley said that. So what did I do when they said that to me? Go to the radio station. Okay, I'm going to sit down. Well, let me tell you what they just told me in the office. I'm getting ready to go on air. And I said, guess what they just told me in the office? They told me I was talking about the station, but I was talking about the people. You can see them in the office because there's rooms. You can literally see the window. You can see the window because there's a window that's there. You can actually see them. Like, did he just go in there and say that? Like, you said it to me. So why not? Like, that's how it was. It was because I was putting my own money into it. That's how it is. See, people don't realize radio is based on advertisements and sponsorship. But when you're putting your own money into something, they really don't have nothing to say. This is why even Kevin Hart does what he does, and people don't understand that. When you're putting your own money into something, or you're getting support from your people, they don't have anything to say. So what we're looking at is big corporations putting money behind all the stuff that you see on radio right now, all the stuff you see on TV right now. We have 100 brainwashing cop shows right now.
Yeah, sure do.
Brainwash. I watch them and get mad. I be like, I'm literally lying. The other day I was in Texas. I'm literally like, okay, CSI Miami just went off. What's the other one? It was another one with LL Cool J. Then it was another, and I'm looking at like literally back to back. And what it does is conditioning you. You don't even get it. Then I'm watching the reactions of our people. And I'm like, look at our people. We tell everything. You know that you're not supposed to talk to police? People don't know that. We so open with everybody. Soon the cop come, you have a domestic. Yeah, well, she did this to me. He's not. Why are you telling him that?
Right.
Think about all the stuff that has happened. So when we did this film, and when I was at Hidden Colors the first time, I was like, the brother called me. He was like, Sabir, I want to do a piece on the Moors. So all this stuff I was already doing on radio before there was even Hidden Colors even in existence, or even thought of. I was doing it there because I was taking my research and going from the law library and saying, how can I get this out to the masses of people? How can I do it? Because I used to be in law libraries with stacks of books up to here on counters. They thought I was in law school in Philadelphia. And I tell everybody this. And that's why I was telling people they always should have a law dictionary in their possessions. I tell everybody that. Always. I was telling people to come here with law books and Webster's dictionary. And the youngest should actually know this also. You can't speak about violence or police terrorism if you don't know what it is. Brutality doesn't exist at all. So what I was doing is going to law libraries and gathering up the information sitting there with books when attorneys was in the room. They thought I was in law school again, but I wasn't. I was copying things and was taking it to the radio, so I started telling everybody. That's why they were mad at me, because of that. So when Hidden Colors came, the brother called me and said, I want you to do, oh, he got a law dictionary? Oh, see what I'm talking about? Let's see. This is what I'm talking about, see? This is what I'm talking about. This should be like a Bible to y'all.
What edition do you use?
This is the 4th. Actually, I have them on CD too. I got them on the table on CDs. This is the 4th edition, but I have the 4th edition on the drive.
What is it? I can't see.
Black Star. You can pass it around and make sure you get my man get his book back. It's like gold. They're like gold. That's 4th edition. You have 1 through, I would say 1 through 6. But then you have Valentine's, Bouvier's, Blackstones, all of them are law dictionaries. So what happened, what I was doing, I was taking this information and I was going to the airwaves so I can educate people on what was happening. And that's what they were mad at. They were mad because I was challenging attorneys and I was challenging politicians. And I didn't go to their school. That's why they were upset. So that's why they would try to do things to get me to get away from it. And that's what they do. They do little things. My co-host left. He left. He couldn't stand the pressure. But he left. I didn't. I stayed there for probably 4 more years. And I finally said, I'm ready to go. Because the people weren't getting it. It's really the pressure that if you don't have thick skin, you will break. Or you will be on drugs or something else. I don't know. But I don't do drugs anyway. But this is what we were doing. So when he came to me with Hidden Colors, I said, wait a minute. He said, you want to do something on the boards? I said, let's do it. Let's make it happen. But it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be strictly on the boards. But it wasn't. And this is how it was. So when my brother here, my brother Amadeus Christ, when we started this one, because I did one with Noble Dwale. How many people saw the documentary on Noble Dwale? I only have one on the table. That one had Most Definite, Bear Bada, the Moors from Virginia, and Maryland, I believe, so in Philadelphia. So that's actually one that we have that's been out at the same time Hidden Colors was out. And everybody said it was better than Hidden Colors, to tell you the truth. I'm keeping it 100. But when I met this brother, I didn't want to work with nobody else. I said, I'm not going to do it anymore. I want to work with nobody else because of the shicey stuff that goes down in the industry. A lot of people know what goes on behind the scenes. So when this brother came to me, I said, you know what? I'm going to work with you, but I want to be the producer on it. That's the only way I work with you with it. Then I was gathering the people together for the film. That's what we were doing. So that's why this is so much of a success. And we're working on part 2 in Philadelphia in June. We're doing another one. I'm just giving y'all a little background of how all this stuff works and what goes. People see stuff on YouTube. I know y'all see stuff on YouTube that, oh yeah, I see that. And then people title it the way they want to title it. Like, what the hell is that? Like, what? And people sending me stuff like, Sabir, you see this? I'm like, I don't know. I don't look at YouTube. Like I told you, sister, I don't go to Blog Talk. I really don't listen to them. I don't have the time to listen to them because I'm so focused on how can we get the message out and not be emotional. We gotta push these. I was going to put a sign on the door that said, leave your emotions outside. Let's deal with factology. That's what I was going to put on the door. Because there's no, and like I said, there's no such thing as brutality. It's called police terrorism. Matter of fact, while we had the law dictionary, because somebody looked that up, this is what, I don't want to make it a lecture. I want to make it be like a workship like I did in Houston. Look at it. Let's somebody look up terrorism. Yeah, let me show you something. And see if you can find brutality anywhere in there.
Yeah, I was looking for that word.
Couldn't find it, right?
Couldn't find it.
So why are black leaders talking about that? Think about it for a minute. Why? We pay people $60,000, $80,000 to come out and speak. We talk about white supremacy. We talk about, what else we talk about? Post-traumatic slave syndrome. Somebody got mad at me because I did a video on that. I don't care that you get mad at me. It's reality. White supremacy doesn't exist. The prefix of that is supreme. So you're not supreme over me. I know better than that. I can flip it and make you get mad at me. And it happened many times when I traveled. I just left Oklahoma. Our people was petrified of this. No, they was like, oh, it's crazy. Like, I'm so serious. It was like, this nigga crazy. And they was in the military. And they looking at me like, I'm crazy. Like,
But they already programmed.
but this is a lot of places, but we don't know that. I'm in the airport, I can feel the energy, people looking at me as I'm walking through the airport like this. You follow me? And our people don't get it. You see what I'm saying? So until you break the history down to them, you got to know that and put yourself there. So now, what is white supremacy? Nobody has power over you unless you give it to them. The only way they have it is because of the lack of your knowledge. Carter G. Woodson said that we should understand the law and study the law, not because we want to be attorneys. He said we must know the law in the ordinance and the interpretations of the courts. He said all this. So I'm walking with this on now. Our people looking crazy. We petrified. This Negro out. Do we know why he got that? And every European I met, no lie, from Texas to LA, every store. I was in Bakersfield, California. Everywhere I went with this, guess who said, I like that?
Yeah.
Europeans. I'm glad you wearing it the right way. This is what they said. I like that. Our people was like, shh, this nigga crazy. I dare you. You know, this is dumb. I dare you wear that way. You know, I had our people say this. I was just with D.L. Hughley in San Antonio about 2 weeks ago. And I was in the green room with him. And he looked at me like I was crazy. He said, why you got that on? So you can't make a wrong or right. I said, no, they made a right or wrong. You follow me? This is how I told them. But you got to know how to come back at them and leave your emotions to the side. You see what I'm saying? So when his co-host comes in, he said, look what Sabir got on his neck. And she had a cross on. Yeah, I don't know what they say, but this is what happened. I said, we suffered underneath for that. I said, why you got a cross on your neck? I should be mad at that.
Exactly.
She didn't know what to say. You didn't suffer underneath for this. But then I had to give her the history of it. I said it was in Ethiopia, Congo, Sudan, India, all of those places. She said, oh, I didn't know that. Because you don't know who you are. We run around here talking about we have knowledge of self. But once you have the knowledge of who you truly are, you can destroy all that myth. All that bull crap will be destroyed. And that's what the blacks didn't want with me when I was in the studio. Because I wasn't putting you to sleep with, oh, slavery, they did this to us. No, I would say slavery was Slavic. It's Indo-Europeans, the Scandinavians. They would say, oh, wait a minute, he's talking too much. You see what I'm saying? Everything that I'm wearing is a purpose. It's another piece on my neck. And I don't know if y'all can see it. It's a history. Somebody else wears this too. Look real close on my neck. It's another piece on my neck.
You're too far away.
Nah, that's green now. Nope. Did you say you can't? I'm gonna bring it up a little closer for y'all.
Oh, yeah.
Do you see the symbol yet?
That's Shiva.
Oh,
the two snakes in the...
I'm gonna make it real plain. I wish I had the internet set up for this. If we can, I'll show you. This is the symbol right here. See that top of that? I don't know if you can see this. See this top? We'll walk through this. I'm gonna let everybody see this as I walk through here. It's in the center too. See it? See those pieces?
I'll beat you on this.
In the middle? Right here. This and this. This is the Lalibela cross in Ethiopia. You see it? See the symbol? Did you see that symbol? You ever see this symbol before? You see those two symbols?
Charles, what's the name?
You ever see those two symbols? The middle and the top.
Nasty.
Huh?
Nasty.
You should explain something. See it?
The Scottish Rite? Is that the...
You ever see those symbols? Where you see those symbols got before?
Scottish
That's the
Is that the
Crusades.
Scottish Rite?
On the shields of the Crusades.
The clan wears them on their patch. The clan wears them on their patch.
And the Crusades too, right?
Their patch.
I think that's where they got them from.
Now, they don't tell you this come from Ethiopia. Yeah, everything. I told you, take it back through your knowledge. But if you're a scholar, you teach this to your people. This is why they get mad at me. I tell them the stoplight is ours. Red, yellow, and green. Ethiopia. They get pissed. Follow me? You take it back through your knowledge. I'm not talking about Africa. I'm talking about over here. Because everything comes from you, from your forefathers. Our civilization didn't start in Egypt, it started in Ethiopia. I was just in San Antonio, ran across a brother from India, in Sri Lanka, and I'm sitting there talking to him. He was one of those vendors in the mall. And I said, where you from? From Hindustan? He said, yes, how did you know? We started talking. And he said, where you from? Most people ask me that. Where I look like I'm from? I could be anywhere. But why would he ask me where I'm from? Because he thought I was Jamaican, Ethiopia, or somewhere else, because I didn't come with the black thing. So I'm sitting with him, talking to him about history now. And we're building about Ethiopia. I said, well, everybody started in Ethiopia. And I said, we left from Ethiopia, went around to India, southern India, we came up. He was like, yes. He said, I speak 8 languages. Right? How many languages do our people speak today?
One, and it ain't ours.
How many languages we speak?
That's a foreign language. English is a foreign language.
You ain't even speaking English. You're not even speaking English. You speak in West Germanic language.
Right.
Look it up.
But it's still foreign to me.
Exactly.
Foreign.
West Germanic language. This is what we're speaking. So when we're using the word God, church, it's all German. I'm going to show you how crazy this language is. You ever see motorcycle police officers? I'm going to show you how crazy these people are. They think they don't like Germans, they don't like this. Have you ever seen a motorcycle cop? The cats on the motorcycle, what do they look like?
Nazi.
There you go. The stoppers, right?
Yeah.
With the boots on, with the sash on, with the hat on.
Yeah.
But we pro-black, right? But you don't even get it. It's right in front of your face. It's sitting there. We dealing with emotionalism instead of factology. When you know this information, you can shut them down and they get scared, and that's what our people are afraid of. So imagine going through a radio station for all these years and you're arguing with these people. Not the European, but our people who are in these Masonic lodges who know what time it is. Who's supposed to be scholars and teachers and professors that's keeping our people asleep. This is why I said look up the word brutality. It doesn't exist. It's terrorism. It's a violation of human rights. Malcolm spoke about human rights, not civil rights. When he died, they said he was talking about civil rights. No, Malcolm was talking about human rights. He was getting you to that point. But if someone can see that, they say, we got to cut this and get rid of it. Let's cut the head off. And that's another history they used to do with us too. You ever heard of the Moorish heads? Now they made a meat company called the Boar's Head.
Yeah.
Study history. In this book, right here, right? In this book, written by David McRitchie, 1884, David McRitchie wrote this book. In this book, it speaks about, 1884. Why are scholars talking about this book? In this book, it says, bring me the head of the Moor. Cut the head off. So this is the whole symbolism of some sitting our heads along the highways. That was a physical decapitation. Now they're doing it's like a media decapitation with our people right now. That's why they did the Michael. They did. Remember when Cat Williams said it in his comedy?
Right.
He said, y'all, he said they decapitating us right in front of our faces, he said. Remember that? You let them kill Michael. Because the media was putting out and said, oh yeah. But they did it back then. In this book he speaks about decapitating us. Physically. He said, bring me the head of the Moor. That's what the king said. And they call us the beast. And when you look at the boar's head, that is actually the Moorish head, which is the beast of us. It's symbolism. And they look up the words. All your history is right there. They know this, but they got to keep you sleeping. Why? How not? I can't tell you that you're a slave. Well, not a slave, but anyway. But I'm going to show you another piece that they do to us. How many people heard this book? 1920s. J. Ryan wrote about the book. We historians, right? We got all these people going out doing lectures and speaking about the black this, but you don't bring him up. J. Ryan.
Is that Crowley, did you say?
I'm going to pass it back and make sure I get my book. I know who I'm in the room. I don't know. I'm going to show y'all something in here, right? So this is what I do with children. When I automatically show this, who do you think this is?
Spain.
Who do you think this is?
That's us. That's us. That's us.
I'm gonna pass it back.
That's us.
Who's like the KKK?
That's us.
Say it
No.
again.
That's the Catholic.
That's us.
KKK.
KKK, right? Listen to what I said earlier
That's us.
about the swastika.
No, I said that's what it looks like.
I know. Remember I told y'all, right? Remember I told you.
That's
The
us.
history itself.
That's in Spain.
This is us. The Moors in Spain. Remember when Dave Chappelle played the Blind Klansman? They can't tell you everything. When I spoke with Dave Chappelle in LA about this, he was laughing. But he knows the history. But they can't say certain things to people. A lot of people don't realize they know, but they can't say it to y'all because someone else is pulling their strings or they're not going to get fed. This is how it is. This is in the Schomburg Museum in Harlem. Schomburg. Schomburg Museum in Harlem. This is us. But if you saw this, or you saw this, automatically you would think it was someone else, not you. So now the only picture they're going to put up with you is that you coming on a slave ship, and I haven't seen a slave ship yet. Help me. I'm being real. I haven't seen a slave ship yet. Can somebody find one for me? You can show me that drawing. I said the ship. They just told me they found Noah's Ark not too long ago. I don't know. Sitting up on a mountain somewhere. I'm just trying to figure out, show me a part of a slave ship, that a piece of it. Don't show me the chain, show me the ship. Because remember, y'all, Europeans don't destroy anything. I'm going to tell you, I was in LA when they brought the shuttle through our neighborhoods. I was in LA like, is they really doing this? They didn't take that ship, that shuttle apart. You know what they did? I don't know if y'all was watching it on TV.
I saw it.
You saw it?
Yeah.
You saw the TV. Now imagine being there.
Oh, wow.
They tore people light poles down. They tore people trees down. I was sitting there watching them. I said, these cats is really, you think they gonna destroy something? They didn't take no parts of that shuttle apart. They literally had to move it. They was like, it was parade Negroes out there. Hey! I'm like, what you clapping for? Like you took the trip. I'm being real. I'm like sitting like, they're very easy distracted. And I'm watching them. They said they just tore. Y'all didn't see they tore down your light poles, dude. They tore down your trees. They literally tore everything down moving through our neighborhood. No lie. You think that would happen in somebody else's neighborhood? No. It wasn't going to happen. So again, Europeans will never destroy their history. So ask them where the slave ships at. Ask them. Show me. Don't show me that one y'all just made. But I had to research that to find out, you know, and let me say this because some people might get emotional, get caught up in their feelings, and say, well, brother, you make sure that the slave trade didn't happen. I didn't say it didn't happen because it's happening right now. This is the reality. You just don't catch it that you're a slave. If they told you you were that, then you would rebel. But it's happening right now. But our forefathers was already here before all of that. So they was, I just told you the route. And the ocean was called the Ethiopic Ocean. It wasn't called the Atlantic Ocean. Yeah. I'm talking about that. At the time frame, it was called that. So the people that they saw here was called Ethiopians. So we are the original Ethiopians. And it's called by Habesha. That's what we call it. It's Habesha from Abyssinia. All of this history, y'all, is ours. This is why when you sit with them, they'll tell you, they'll be like, where are you from? You look like you're from Eritrea or something. I told him that. I told my man that one time. I said, you look like you from Eritrea somewhere. Because he is. That's where we're from. So they couldn't tell. They had brothers look dark, that look just like this brother right here. If I pull pictures, they show you look just like him. But they don't show brothers like him. He looks more like the Afar, the darker people. But they don't show those people. And when you start speaking with people that come from overseas, they start telling you stuff. If you play the slave game or the black game, they're going to say, yeah, well, you know, I'm sorry for what your people did or what our people did to y'all. A European said that to me one time. I said, no, I'm sorry for what we did to y'all. I told you again, you got to know how to flip it on them. Because once you understand that you enslaved them first, we did it to them first, not vice versa. We did it. We keep calling them white. It's not a pedigree. White is a status issue. Come here for a minute. I'm gonna ask you. No, come here. I'm gonna ask you. Let me show you something. What color are you? I said, what color are you? You brown?
There you go.
Brown, right? Okay, show me something that's black. Hold up, let me find something real quick. What is this? Do you look like this? So why?
Right.
Children know. So why are we using the terms? Are we using it as an adjective to describe something? Because that's what it is. So when you look at children, they're going to say, I'm brown skinned. Remember when Kara said I'm not white or black, I'm brown from the boogie down?
Exactly.
He was saying it back then, but yet you have people in school that say, he's black. No. There was two Jamaican, thank you sis, two Jamaican girls in school, I forget, I think it was in Ohio, I don't know if you saw it on the newspaper. And the teacher called them niggas because they didn't want to be called black. And you could probably Google it. Two Jamaican little girls, they called them niggas because they did not want to be called black. They said, we're not black. You can't go and force that on people. You can't go to other countries and force those types of titles on people when that's not who they are. Basic common sense, you wear brown or olive complexion, which is natural. Black is an adjective, and actually they are code words if you understand it. Do anybody know what the color code caste system is? Color code caste system. How they classify people by codes.
It's legal.
It's a color hierarchy.
It's fake. They're code. Let me tell you, so I was in Muskogee, Oklahoma. Muskogee, somewhere down there about a week ago. And I sat in a room and I watched this European give history on baseball and about the Negro Baseball League. And as I'm sitting there, the elder was sitting there, he was 94 years old, up front with the European. And what he was saying was deep, because I don't watch baseball, I don't watch basketball, I don't watch football, I don't watch none of that stuff. But it intrigued me because what he was talking about is about the Negro Baseball League. But what he said, and y'all should look this up, and I'm telling you, use your cell phones, yo. Tell people to write this stuff down. Now, he's talking, I'm in the back of the room, and as he's talking, I'm looking stuff up that he's talking. I said, damn, let me see what he's talking about. And he said, T-Clowns. Everybody, ever heard of clowns?
Yeah.
Clowns baseball team?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
T-Clowns,
Yeah.
right? That was a code word that said that was a Negro baseball team.
Wow.
Yeah. He said the Blue Devils was a code word that said that was a jazz band. The Blue Devils. The Chiefs was a code word that said that was a white baseball team. Code words, right? So T-Clowns was, when I looked it up, guess what it said? It said Ethiopians, and I said, damn. As I'm sitting in the room, I'm watching it. So when I'm saying that you're black or African American, it's really a code word to say, okay, he's property. Leave him over here. Okay, these Moors that know that they're Moors, we cannot enslave these Moors because they're conscious. And this is what the Sundry Free Act was about. That those Moors knew who they were, they could not be enslaved. So if you're conscious to who you are, you cannot be enslaved. And this is why other nations look at us like, they look at us and say, wait a minute, they're not getting it? Then we have paid off leaders to come out and say, well, yeah, Black Lives Matter and get funded by the same people that enslave you. Then we have another group that said, yeah, well, post-traumatic slave syndrome, it's okay, they still deal with emotionalism. Okay, got that part. You follow me? This is how they play the game. So now we say police brutality. And why haven't we solved the murder yet?
Right.
Because when you look up terrorism, did you find it, brother? Somebody has a law dictionary. Look up terroristic threats and terrorism. I'm going to show you something, how deep this is. Look up terrorism and terroristic threats. What it's going to say is a total violation of human rights. Constitutional. Brutality doesn't exist. I could take that chair and throw it across the room and brutalize it. That's all it really is. It's an inanimate object. So when people are speaking on law, they're not getting into what the law really says. And the law does not apply to black people. And this is why you can never get redress. Now what they'll say is that, oh, it's a civil rights thing. Civil rights is unconstitutional. Do you know that? Twice. It can be given and taken at the whim. But this is why they don't want you to talk about Declaration of the Rights of a Child. They don't want you to talk about declarations of human rights violations. Did y'all know these rights have been around for a long time? How many of our black ladies you heard talk about this? None. Why? Because it doesn't apply to you. It can be fixed, but we got to get the wrong people out the right places. That's what's happening. Do you find it? Okay, read it. Read it. Yeah, read all of it. Real loud, Sarah. Can you stay up so everybody can hear this? Let y'all hear this for a minute. You ain't gonna find brutality in it.
Okay, so terroristic threats. A person is guilty of a felony if he threatens to commit any crime of violence with purpose to terrorize another or to cause evacuation of a building, place of assembly, or facility of public transportation, or otherwise to cause serious public inconvenience or in reckless disregard of the risk of causing such terror or inconvenience.
What else is in it?
This is just terroristic threats. I see terror. You want me to read terror?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so terror is alarm, fright, dread, the state of mind induced by the apprehension of hurt from some hostile or threatening event or manifestation. Fear caused by the appearance of danger. In an indictment for riot at common law, it must have been charged that the acts done were, in quotes, to the terror of the people.
Okay. Help me, y'all.
Yeah, right.
Isn't that the police department?
Yeah.
Why you like you supposed to go to law school, right? You got all these constitutional attorneys, right?
Yeah.
Why you never brought that up? Why? But they will show you about brutality.
Yeah.
I'm telling y'all being had. Like Malcolm said, you being had and hook winked. That's what he's talking about. But we got all these brilliant minds out here. All these people they put on CNN and say, well, yeah, well, the cop didn't know. Lock you the hell up. We don't supposed to be having no damn sitting on the getting paid leave. I don't know if y'all see that. I watch every channel. I watch different news. I was watching Telemundo in Texas, right? Yeah, watch it. Actually, I did a radio station in that same building. Understanding how this media works, they have their media, Telemundo, everywhere, right? I'm sitting there watching it before I got here. The girl, I don't know if y'all saw the girl that got body slammed by the cop.
Oh, yeah.
The little girl, they got picked up and got body slammed by the cop. The Mexican girl. I'm watching the signs, right? But I can't really understand Spanish that well because my Spanish is gone when I left New York. I was like, I don't know what, but I'm trying to read their lips and see the signs. So it said, get him out of our neighborhoods. He's not above the law. Talking about the cop that body slammed the girl. Now, I'm comparing this to what we do compared to what they do. They say get him the hell out of here. We always say Black Lives Matter. And we got everybody else involved in it. While all the Mexicans over here saying, no, this ain't going down this way. Get him the hell out of here. Right. This is how they operate. We over here saying protest, oh, let the law handle it. They say, no, get him the hell out of here. In Philadelphia, when the girl got hit by the police officer, I don't know if y'all remember, at a parade, Puerto Rican girl got hit by a cop because somebody threw something. They burned this joker house down. The cop told him to get out his hood. And we, again, watch what we do. We sit over here and say, pray for them. Don't worry about it. Let the law deal with it. But you don't even know what the hell the law is. How could you tell someone to do something when you don't even know what to do? So again, now we're going to pay this person X amount of dollars to go speak for you. On some Billy Bobo stuff. I was going to say something else, but I had to catch myself. Challenging them when they talk about they want to see a change. They don't want to see a change. They can't tell people free. We brag about degrees. Oh, I got a degree in masters in psychology, and I'm a psychiatrist and psychologist, and you still saying you're black? You really don't understand what that means? I got it. I can use it. But people get mad at me if I say nigga. Right? They get mad at me if I say that. I'm saying the same thing. I'm saying black. I'm just saying it in another language. But we get caught up in language too much and don't even understand language. So we have these people in these positions that is not telling our people the truth at all. Again, we talk about degrees. How many people know what a degree is?
A piece of paper.
That's diploma. That's what diploma means. A piece of paper. Listen to it again. No, degree. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna take that to a language. You take the word degree. Everything has a prefix and a suffix. Brother, who got the law dictionary? Look it up. That's why I said I want this to be a workshop, not to just talk. What's the prefix for degree? Hey, that guy look good right there. Who is that guy? You know they got a tan. What's the prefix for degree?
D.
Say it again, bro?
D-E.
So what does DE mean?
To like eject, to throw, to remove.
To remove, right? Okay. So, how many degrees people have? I'm just saying. I don't have none. I have an degree. I don't have a degree. I have an degree. Say that again?
I was saying BS.
Okay, read it real quick.
Okay, extent of
That's the number I need. What's the first thing that you see when you see it? Okay. D-E?
D-E-G-R-E.
No, D-E.
Oh, D-E. Oh, you want.
Always go see, when you study, I used to teach my son this when he was 3. My son is 18. My son, by the time he was 55, he used to say a dictionary was his book. We had two regular dictionaries. The books was his. He said, "In my books," he then marked them up and scripted them. I can't even read them no more. But I showed him them not too long ago. He said, "Remember you did this when you were 4? He don't remember, but I used to show my son how to study. And when you're studying language, everything you have to, and we was taught this in school, how, but not how to study. We said go home and look up a word. We never told a child how to study. So when you're studying words, you look up the prefixes, the suffixes, all these words in there. So when you look up the word degree, it means to take away from. That's what it means. D-E. Take away or from. Like defrost and derail means to take away, dislike. So what happens in school, they say, I have a degree. That's why I laugh and say, I got a degree in this. Really? Okay. Good luck. Because I know better than that. You follow me? And it's not a knock on them. It's that said, you ain't been taught anything. That's why Carter G. Woodson said the miseducation of the Negro world. He said that. He said the black teacher ain't nothing but a white teacher. And he talks about these things. Your mentality is still thinking like them. So when someone comes that's not on the conveyor belt and tell you this, you say, well, he's crazy. No, I'm not. But I'm going to show you from your own words. This is why we can go into the law and explain it. People thinking you have to go to law school to know the law. You don't have to go to law school, you just have to study it. We tell people to get a thesaurus, an Underbridge dictionary, and a law dictionary. Make it your best friend. Same way we hold the Bible. Same way. So when you see stuff on TV, you look it up. Start researching. Oh, what are they talking about over here? What are they? No, that's not right. And then y'all start challenging these people. Don't worry about nobody talking about having a degree in anything. Because they really don't know. If that's the case, you would have fixed the problem already. It don't take much. What Ashkenazi Jews have, they have a community of people that does this type of work. So when they see, you ever heard of, what's the thing they got? ACLU? What is that thing called? The ACLU or something they have? Anti-Defamation League. It's big in LA. I seen it. I'm rolling past their building. I said, yeah, that's their joint. It's large. So as soon as you say something, they on it, hard body, because they pay into it already. They pay into this constantly. So when someone says something, they always have someone on the side doing that type of research. We don't have that. We have a bunch of emotional black people. And that's what we have. So when something happens, then you can usher off the Al Sharptons, the Jesse Jackasses, and people like that. Those types of people. You follow me? And if you watch it, it's always the same people. Nobody's talking real law. So when the Moors who are speaking law, they think that we're the crazy ones. When you don't even know what law is, but you keep talking about law.
Exactly.
This is the craziest. Man, I'm like, what do y'all want to get it? No, we are the only ones that's dealing with this law. Why do you think they can shut it down every time? They can shut you down every time. And they would never put a Moor on a TV show. And this is why I fight the way I fight with my show, because nobody's going to talk about what I'm saying on my show. And my show is broad. It's broad, and it touches a lot of people that I didn't even know touch. I be walking past people, yeah, I saw your show, bro, that was dope. Why you ain't calling my show, bro? These attorneys I'm talking to. I'm like, why you ain't calling the show? Nah, dude, you crazy. I got a Benz outside, bro. Nah, gotta keep my wife happy. You know, it's that type of vibe that you hear people talk about this. But you don't never supposed to make yourself get comfortable. People don't realize that. That's why the feds don't let you be comfortable in their prison. They move you from place to place. I don't want to be comfortable, because when that's gone, it's gone. You look like my man right here. He was all wrapped up.
They're West African, right? Like,
There you go. West Africans. They were Moors. They was in West Africa. They made a movie called Sahara. Did you see the movie Sahara when they was coming down? That was them right there. It means nomadic people, people that move from place to place. That's how we was going through the Sahara Desert. We were moving. So they said, okay, we're gonna make a Jeep. And put it right in front of the Negro's face again. They don't realize that's theirs. I told you to take everything back through your knowledge. The stoplight is yours. The Cotan is yours. They come from the Congo. It makes the cell phones. I got you the cell phones, laptops, all that stuff work. So take it back through your knowledge and see how they react. Yes, sister?
When did we become Moors?
When
When
did we
did we get that
title?
name Moor? When did we become Moors?
We've been
Because
more.
we weren't Moors from the beginning.
No, we've
Yes.
always been
Always.
Moors. This is the problem. People
No,
don't
we
study.
were not.
Hold up. We don't
No, we
study.
were not.
Hold up. I mean, you gonna answer it or we gonna answer it?
No, go ahead.
Okay, so now, if you study language, again, we're looking, and when I'm saying Moors, let me clarify this for everybody. The Moors are the Cushites, Moabites, Hammatites, Ethiopians, all of them. If you ever go talk to anybody outside of the United States who has not been indoctrinated, they're going to tell you the history. Even this book, this is why they hide this book from a brother that's from Jamaica. Jamaica, they call it Maroons. So if you're a Garveyite, he was a Moor. They called the Maroons in Jamaica. That's a Moor also, right? J.A. Rogers wrote this book. Now, the problem is, they said, oh, he dealt with a European. Dude, nature don't know no color line. Actually, you go over the country, nature it didn't matter what you were, because you still were the descendant of us. It didn't matter. So they got mad because he married a European. That's his business. I don't rock with Europeans like that. Follow me? But in his book, he said before the 1500s, we were Ethiopians and Moors. Now this is before we talked about the slave trade. 1920s, this book was written. When you go deeper, and I'm going to show you the connection, and I'm going to go back to that. I'm glad you brought it up.
I just want to know, is it on the wall?
Say it again?
Is it on the wall?
What wall?
She's talking about like.
In Egypt? Is
See,
it
you're
on
going
the
back
wall?
to Egypt again.
Is it
Hold
on
up.
the wall?
No, listen. You're going back to Egypt again. Where did I just say civilization started at?
You said
Okay, so now, when you read Stolen Legacy, it will tell you that the Moors kept up with Mother Africa,
Right.
Egypt, in Stolen Legacy, right? So we're looking for more on the wall. At that time, again, we were Cushites, Moabites, Amorites, whatever language that was. That's what we're talking about. Today in modern, right, because people are speaking what we say English today, we say it more. So you can say Morano, because Spanish and all of this came before we say English. Okay? Latin and all that came, the language we're using today is a Latin language and German language.
But it
Today.
does say on the wall in Egypt that they traveled from Ethiopia to.
There you go.
They developed temples in different areas to represent all the gods and goddesses. And it
Exactly.
went all the way from Ethiopia all the way to Kemet.
So why are we talking about this now? When I speak with Ethiopians, even over there, they be like, how you know so much about Ethiopia and you never went to Ethiopia? But what happens, there are castles of Moorish castles in Ethiopia. The sister was, she had to go literally, I'm on Skype, she went to go get her father. And I'm building about Addis Ababa, the capital, and she said her father's sitting there, you know, I don't understand the language really, but I'm sitting like, and he's telling me, how did I know that being all the way over here? So I'm bringing up J.A. Rogers, and I'm bringing up this, and I'm going into etymology. He's saying, well, you know a lot of stuff. You need to come over here to Ethiopia. So what happens is, what books are we reading? Are we studying language? One person said the Meta Netter told them that the Moor meant devil. I said, well, I'm trying to find that in a heartbeat. I said, wait a minute, let me find this. I couldn't find it. But don't tell me, listen, it's not a disrespect on Egypt, but it didn't start in Egypt.
Egypt is the last. It's
Okay,
the last
no,
of our
but what about over
civilization.
here though? What about the last over here? You follow me? We got that, but what about this? Because the pyramids over here is older than the ones in Egypt. It's a fact.
Oh, come on.
Come on, do the research. Do the research. I'm just, listen, and this is the problem. This is what happens. And I tell people, listen, this is why when you hear me come in rooms, I said, don't take anything I say at face value. Research what I'm saying for yourself. But the reality, I want people to be honest with themselves, so when they find it, they will say, yo, you were right. Just come and say you were with it. I don't take no sides from anything, but that's where the research is leading me at. So again, when you start traveling and you know what to say to these people, they'll start talking to you. They'll start telling you things.
I was doing a psychological study, and they were talking about how we're led into media to think and to pick what we give options and to pick what we believe. And it was so simple how they did it. They just put 3 sentences together, and one of the sentences said barn, one of them had bread, one of them had hay in it. And they showed me a picture of an upside down seal, but it looked like a horse, but it was a seal. And so I thought it was a horse just because it had those 3 words in the sentence.
Wow.
So I was led to look for the horse versus looking for the seal, and that's a lot of what we see in like the media. We're not.
I'm in media, and that's what's going on. I'm in media. I was in film school, and I was looking at stuff like, damn, they are really doing a good job. Go ahead, brother.
The only problem with that is your only alphabet is Egyptian.
I can't say that again.
Your only alphabet is Egyptian.
It's Arabic.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
Everything, listen.
I'm listening to you.
If you study a language chart from like the Rosetta Stone, you have the metal letter, which I agree with Walter Williams, has never been fully. You only have the Europeans' interpretation of what it says. Then you have the Hieratic Demonic. Then you have the Coptic, or what they call the Greek. But the only thing that the Greek is the phonetics that they didn't have a language when they went to Africa. So they took the Greek language and gave it writing and phonetics to where you could write it down and you could pronounce it. The alphabet that you have, the only alphabet that we have is Egyptian. Now, might say, the reason I say Egyptian is because the average person in here doesn't know what that means. But when you say Egyptian, okay, see the thing about being black, that there are no monoliths anywhere on this planet except in Africa. Now you say they're here in the United States, but show them to me. Don't just say they're here. We know, listen,
Okay, go ahead.
we know the monoliths in Mozambique. That's 250,000 years old. They're there right now. We know the monoliths that are in Nafta Playa. See, that's the thing about being black. Your history is written all over the earth. It's not just something you saying out your mouth. This stuff is there. We know that the American, there's nobody else that built no Sphinx. There's nobody else that built no Great Pyramids. There's nobody else that built Nafta Playa. There's nobody else that built the ruins in Mozambique. These were African people. Now, your alphabet, you can say it's Arabic, but everything in this planet was developed from Egypt,
Oh, brother, I'm not in disagreement with you. You heard me just say that.
It was developed from Egypt. Wait a minute. The Arabs, look, brother, the Arabs went into Africa.
I know that story, but I got a DVD on the table, Wesley.
The Arabs went into Africa. Look, the Arabs went into Africa from Europe after the Romans and the Greek went in.
Listen, that's surface, okay? I got that. That's surface.
Oh, that's surface.
Hold up, because what I'm saying to you.
But how
We know that. What I'm saying.
How old these monuments are when you cannot carbon date stone.
Well, how can we
So
okay?
how can you say that the ones here in the new world, and I call this the new world,
It is a new world.
is older than the ones in Kemet?
In Kemet?
You can't. How do you say that is the fact?
This is
when
what
you can't carbon
okay,
date?
can I say this? Can I explain this? This is why I tell people, don't take my word for it. Get encyclopedia books. Get their information and study it. I wouldn't even follow, who is Rosetta Stone? What is that? You ever looked that person up? Look up these people.
It was a stone that was found.
No, I said look up who, listen.
But I'm just telling you,
I got that. I know that.
It is a physical
No,
stone.
I got that.
It is a physical stone from which they.
I got that.
Wait a minute. It is a physical stone from which they are qualifying all language.
Okay, I got
Okay,
that. I'm with you.
It's a physical thing that's there. Okay,
Huh?
What
Listen.
and like I say, you would without the Egyptian alphabet, you wouldn't even be talking.
Listen,
So
bro.
that's
You know
not
what?
even.
You know what I would
You wouldn't
be?
even be talking.
You know what I would be? Because I would go back further than that. I was talking about Ge'ez.
How could you?
Hold up, brother. Listen to what I'm sharing with you. This is not an argument. I'm saying to you, I know this information is hard for some people because it's like doing yoga. When I did yoga, I couldn't bend back. I was like, how the hell I'm bending back? It's you're using other muscles and other information is coming to you. When you're speaking to other people and you study etymology, which we don't study language at all, which is the origins of words, is coming from the word etymon. Study etymology. Sit back and I tell people, lock yourself in the room sometimes and just study it for a minute. When you speak with people from the language called Ge'ez, Google Ge'ez, Geez, Ge'ez, or Ge'ez. They say they pronounce it Ge'ez. The original language, which the scriptures and all was written from. The original language. Then you have all this other stuff. Today, that we're speaking, we're not speaking Metanetter in their courtroom, we're not speaking English. We're speaking Latin in this courtroom, which still comes from your forefathers.
Which was developed from
Brother,
the...
we're not knocking
wait a minute,
Africa,
wait a minute. Are you listening to what I'm saying?
Brother.
The Latin was developed from the phonetic Coptic language, brother.
For me and my lady, say it's severe.
Okay.
Yeah, but listen, go ahead.
I don't mean to be disrespectful, brother.
I don't either.
But we understand you and we respect you. But we did come for a lecture, and I would suggest that because you sound like you got great information, and I would love to hear you do a lecture. But we all came to hear Sabir seriously because I have a 20-year-old woman. I've got a 21-year-old son.
Get down.
And I
I'm
need
shut
to
up.
connect
If
him
you
with him
want that
because he's in
information,
a
get
European
it. If you want that
school,
information, get it.
who are trying to
No
suppress
problem with
him, and I'm saying you're going to use this for whatever you need to use your business for, but he needs this knowledge. So we need the knowledge, and we're not here to debate, we're here to build together.
I don't debate. John Henry Clark said he don't debate with his equals. So that's what I'm at. So my thing is, if you don't do the research and bring it to me, it's like it is. And if you present the information to me, I can rock with you. But if I'm saying go home and at least study it, if I don't see you looking to study it, why waste time? Because no matter what I'm saying to you, that you're listening, but it's like in here and out here.
So can you go back to what you were saying? I'm sorry, I was like distracted. So
It's
what
all
the
good.
original.
But anyway, she asked the question about the Moors. All I tell people to go study the Moors. The stuff that people are learning, like in this, she said being suppressed in their school systems, they're not teaching this. This is an article from 1939-38. I'm going to pass this through and I hope I get it back. Right? This is in the archives in DC that I found. When you research things, when you travel, you sit there for hours and you dig things out that they're hiding from you. This was in DC, but if you know what you're looking for, you'll find it. This article, you can pass it out. And I didn't know the headline, what it is. It said, will Spain fall once before the same Moorish tribes that conquered her in 711? 1939-38 newspaper. Why is it in Ohio? Why is it there? Then it talks about the complexion of the people. The Moors, from that point, from 711, it actually started in 710. When they beat the Moors, everything was wiped out. And then Ferdinand and Queen Isabella came in 1492. After it was broken, then they came in and they started shifting and changing books and changing the language. What we're getting in school right now is not true history. I was in Texas, they grade changes history books. Really? How much power do you really have? If we're talking about Egypt, then why aren't we in the schools talking about Egypt, or why don't we have our own schools talking about it? Why? This is all I'm saying. It's not to run from Egypt, but dude, I'm good. I don't need to go there because I know last time I checked, my man Tommy Davidson was getting in a fight with a dude over there. It wasn't us. He said, we're servants over there. So again, I'm talking about going back to Ethiopia if we're talking about anything. Let's take this stuff back through our knowledge, but I would say look for it. When I'm hearing people speak of the Moors, and then make it seem like the Moors is some type of special clique that we in, or some type of gang that we in, I'm like, dude, yeah, like some Crips and Bloods. It's who your forefathers are. Without no doubt or contradiction, this is who we are. Why are we arguing? Black, we keep saying black then. Then if we're black, then what kind of black person are you? Help me. I ask y'all. I ask you, brother, what kind of black person are you? No, I ain't said ask. What kind of black person are you? Just explain.
I'm just going to tell you. If I can't say it,
No,
I'm not going to say it. You're going to stop me from saying it.
No, because you ready to go into a whole nother.
No, I'm not.
Go ahead, shoot it.
It's the diametric opposite of who controls the planet.
Okay, go ahead. What is it?
It's the diametrical opposite who controls the planet.
I said, what kind of black person are you? That's all.
That's what I said.
All I
I'm
said
the
is that-
diametrical
Let me show you how crazy
opposite.
this is. Let me show you how crazy this is.
Okay,
If I
good.
walk to somebody else, right, and I say, what kind of, let me say, what kind of Muslim are you? Right? Let's use Muslim for a minute. What kind of Muslim are you? Oh, bro, I'm Sufi, that's all. You automatically hear that, right? What kind of, Sunni? Or I'm such and such. I'm gonna shoot it straight like, nope, not out space. It's like plain, right? So if you talk to someone else, and you ask a European, what kind of European are you? I'm Scottish. What kind of European are you? I'm Dutch. What kind of European are you? I'm French. They're not going to go all here. We can say, and this what kills me with our people, we say the white man's words. Please find that. If y'all can find the white man's language of white man's words in this room, I give y'all $1,000. Go get a dictionary. Find a term called white man's words. I bet you won't find it. But we're quick to run to that and say that because we're dealing with emotions. White man's words does not exist. Everything I'm speaking of, I research it. So if I'm speaking, I'm going to back up what I'm saying. So again, when we're addressing issues, we got to address it on a national stage, nationally. So if you ask me what kind of person am I, if you say black, I would say probably black or more. Now I just gave you the adjective with the noun. Black or more. Black describing that more. If I say, give me that computer, you say, what kind of computer? Oh, I mean, give me the Dell. I ain't say the Mac, I said, give me the Dell, I just gave it a noun. We all went to school. We know what the adjective and the noun is, right? So why are we still using adjectives on everything? So if I'm asking you a simple question as a teacher, say, well, give me such and such, and you tell me that, I'm like, well, that's still dealing with adjective. And you'll say, oh, that's the white man's words, but you ain't gonna say that in the school system. See the difference? Let's deal with reality. Let's deal with factology. Leave the emotions over here because the children are being lost because of this. It is nothing like it getting wrong with Egypt, and I don't want nobody to think that. There's nothing wrong with it. But my understanding language, if you take the G off of there and put an E, it's nothing but Egypt and Gypsy. Exact same thing. And I just told y'all what it was. It was people that moved from place to place, which is nomads. Once you understand the languages, and stop saying Arabs, because they're not the real Arabs, and if you talk to an Arab, they will tell you that too. They will say, oh, they look like you, but they switch places. Remember the movie Trading Places? They switched. It's you. Brother Wesley Muhammad, I just had him in LA. He showed the history of who the original Arabs are. But what happened? We got hit in our head, we fell asleep. We're sleeping.
Hey, bro, a quick question. Other than like the rulership in Europe, did the Moors branch and cover all of Asia, or were they just in Europe and Africa?
We were everywhere. Everywhere. This is why you have to study history. When you talk to someone from India, in Sri Lanka, in Sri Lanka, India, they're called Moors down there. When I spoke with, look it up online. Go Google Sri Lankan Moors. What happened when I spoke, I got you, sister. When I spoke with the dude from India, I never said India. I said Hindustan. How did he know? He said, oh, I was just in Manchuria. So they would say, oh, you got red hair, you're Irish. No, the original Irish was us. We were the tinklers. If you read David McRitchie speaks about the black tinklers, the Danes, where you get your Danish from, all these terms that come from us, we were those people that was there. So I showed a picture on my Facebook of a sister with red hair, Ethiopian with red hair, locks, and they showed another one somewhere in Africa that had albino skin. So this is where Albania come from. Albania, Albanian, Iranians, and all these other people come from. We put them in the Caucasus Mountains. We did that. Our ancestors did that. We enslaved them first. They didn't look like us, just like now. So all these Europeans are no one but your children. So what you do is put them back under control. How do you do it? You do it through your knowledge first, because the other part is going to come. I let them know every chance I get. And when you sit with them, you should see their faces turn pink. Wow. I swear to you not, dude. I can sit in a coffee shop and have a conversation, and they'll bring up something. I'll be like, nope, and I start talking. One of them had an argument with me and tell me that Minister Farrakhan had an Italian suit on. This is how this conversation got started. He said, oh, the minister. He didn't say minister, he said that Farrakhan guy. That's what he said, that Farrakhan guy he's anti-Semite, and I'm a Jew. So you're not a Semite, I'm a Semite. I'm a Semitic person. The Semitic, if you look up the word Semitic people, it's going to show you who they are. It's us. Google it. Look up Semitic people. That's why I tell you, get out the emotion. Look up this information, not just one source. Go through like 5 or 6 different sources, and you're going to see it. All of it's going to be the Phoenicians, like the brother was talking. This is where their hooked on phonics come from. Phoenicians, which was us too. So when they say Moors, they keep making it seem like the Moors is something that's modern, like, okay, us now. No, we are the Phoenicians. We are the Semites. We are all these people. So again, I'm educating you in my school system, and I'm going to teach you nothing but slavery. Now that's going to be out the door in a minute too, because they're going to wipe that out and say something about servants. Because you know when Texas starts something, that's where everybody get it. I'm telling y'all this. Texas kick off the textbooks, everybody get it in every other state. So I'm sitting in Texas with a European, and we having this conversation about Farrakhan not being anti-Semitic. He can't be anti himself. He's wearing Italian suits. No, the suits come from the Moors because the Moors created the silk. And y'all just put your name on it. He got mad. It's nothing that's come from Europeans. Even Adidas. Addis Ababa is the capital of Ethiopia. That's where Adidas come from. Do research, people. It's nothing that's theirs. It's yours if you take it back through your knowledge. You got to take it back through the knowledge and get it. So that's why I say I hear people, but it's like you still dealing with that same old time religion stuff. I don't want to hear that, but it's a new day and time now. We got to teach our people their nationality to get out of what we in. You can be whatever you want. If you want to be Cushite, then go be Cushite. Just take Cush back. I say fight for it. I got to fight for what's over here underneath my feet. I have to fight for this in our children because they're being lied to in the school system.
Yeah.
The only thing they're teaching them is about slavery. They have another slave movie coming out, Roots again.
Roots is coming.
Another Roots. Every generation they gotta bring more. They gotta bring nothing speaking of the Moors, how great the Moors were. How great it is. We're not talking about it. You see what I'm saying? You know how great the Moors are, we're not even talking about this. You see what I'm saying? So again, go ahead, bro.
Yeah, so when you mentioned that the original people were already here in the Americas, in North America specifically, this was something I had also heard before, but it didn't register. And as I was listening to you, I realized that it's still not registering. When you say that these people are already here, are you referring to the fact that they were phenotypically black in the sense of how we describe black, or were they in a sense, were they Native Americans that they changed their appearance of all? So my question I'm asking is, when you say that the original people were here, were they in the form of how we describe or how we wish to describe ourselves when we say that we're black?
Okay.
We're phenotypically black.
No. Because I bought a book in Texas. I wish I had brought it about this big. Guess what it said? Native Americans, right? I said, damn, can I go to bookstores? And I was looking at this, and I'm like, damn, look how dark this dude is. Like, when I'm watching the book, and I'm like, look how dark this, he look like you. So we're talking about native, they never, in Philadelphia, you gotta remember, in Philadelphia is where everything happened there. People don't know that. Your nationality was taken off. They had an Indian council down there, right? We walked in as Moors, all of us, probably like 8 of us. And we went in there talking about how y'all wasn't the original ones. You know what they said? We know. That's why they call themselves natives. We're not natives, we are indigenous people. 2 total different words. They don't even like the word native. Indians, these so-called Indians. Because what they say, Hollywood lies to you. So in Hollywood, been beating you up for years of what they look like. This is what they look like. Oh, this way, this way, this way. No, they look like you because when you're reading a dictionary, a 1928 dictionary, before they took everything out, it said America was the Aboriginal or copper-colored natives. We are the copper-colored natives. It ain't talking about them. Even the ones that look just like you. You look like you could be Choctaw or something like that. That's what you look like, right? But I bet you your background, I guarantee you it's going to be right here. So what we're looking at as these Hollywood Indians, which they call $5 Indians, they're not the real ones. They mix with our people. This is why amalgamation was a violation. I'm gonna get back to it.
Yeah, bro, I wanted to ask you a question. They were saying that the actor Danny Glover was trying to get funding. There was a rumor going around
No,
that he was going to make a movie about the Moors. Do you know anything about that?
I know he was doing one on Haiti or something like that, but he didn't get backing. I sat with Danny. He knows everything about the Moors. Danny Glover knows about the Moors.
Yeah, because I heard he was supposed to be working on a movie depicting the Moors history.
Yeah, but they're not going to get the funding.
Right.
See, the thing is in Hollywood, it's not going to get greenlighted if it's something that's positive with us. It's not going to get greenlighted. And this is how it works in Hollywood. And I'm telling you, I've been in this business for a minute. They're not going to do that. It's going to be the people. This is why we do stuff like this to get to that point. So we can show people. And I was talking to Mos Def, and he was like, don't do no movies. He said, because it's going to take away from the reality of it. He said, do documentaries. That's what he told me. You keep that there. There's a documentary he did a narration to. Look it up. It's called The Prince Among Slaves. Google it. It's been out for years.
But then what you find out in Hollywood, they're actually taking our ideas
There you go.
and building on it like the superheroes.
Exactly. All of that stuff. Kings of Egypt, whatever that. They're doing it, but they're not going to, they can't say Moors.
Like the whole Myra thing is based on gods and goddesses. From
There you go.
what they think they are.
Exactly.
What they think they were.
So here's the thing. So the biggest challenge that I'm having in general when I'm searching for myself is that there's a huge discrepancy between there's discrepancies with what everybody is saying, right? What I've understood was that like at the beginning of like the cradle of civilization started like in Central Africa. It was like part of like, near Ethiopia, but also part of West Africa. It was like this is where, people have like worked together and they shared the language with Kemet. And then from there, I also understood that, people were always traveling around during a time where, they didn't just necessarily stay put. I'm having trouble still understanding why then, if this is the case, then why, I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought.
No, go ahead.
I think I'm just having trouble understanding, like, why is there such a discrepancy with what we're saying? Why are we having trouble coming to a consensus that, this is where we are with our history? There's always like variation. There's always like, we were actually here, no, we were actually there, no, we were actually this. But, the fact of the matter is that, it seems to be, why can we come up with just one solid message that just explains that? What is the
there you go. We are distracted. Let me tell you something. The sister told me in politics the other day. I was on the phone. She used to work in politics. You know what she said to me? I'm on the phone with her. Before I left your house, she said, Spirit, I used to work in politics. You know what they did? They started rumors to keep you distracted. So while you over here trying to figure this out, she said, you're going to waste all your energy on this while we doing this. This is what she told me. She said, I worked in politics for years. And I'm sitting on the phone. I never met this girl. I'm on the phone with her. And I'm like, yeah, I know that, but you got to stay focused. It's like a horse running. Your horse don't look right nor left. He stays focused. So what happens, we are being bombarded with other stuff. And every time I'm speaking to people, I'm watching their hands. I'm looking to see if they're looking things up. They're not looking it up. And I'm telling you stuff. I'm saying, Google it. Look it up. Go to Google University. Look it up. It's right there. So
Even
right.
our own communities, like our own communities, we have the Moors and the Nation of Islam, and we have the NGE, and we have this. Those are all distractions.
All distractions.
From self. Then you're focusing on the laws of the NGE. No, we got to keep these laws. No, we got to keep these laws. The Nation of Islam, we got to keep these laws. The laws of the Moors, we got to keep these laws. And if we all do self, we'd all come together in that one energy to combine with the soul that we combine with.
I agree with you. And this is why I'm going to the mosque tomorrow. People don't understand. I'm going to the mosque Mariam tomorrow. And Moors get mad at me. Be like, Sabir, what are you doing? Like, they don't understand where I'm going at with this. I'm not separating myself from my people. I understand all these things are mine. I am a Christian because I'm Christ-like. I'm a Muslim because I submit my will to do the will of the Creator. So all that stuff is mine. We created every religion. I'm not talking religion. I'm talking about history. Because now I'm going to show you where history starts at, or they say where it started at, and how it's still all of us. I spoke about India. I spoke about, China. It's still us. It ain't separate, but we always move from place to place. The problem is people, people get this information, oh man, I don't want that dude. That looks like, that's like, right, I'm going to turn around. They don't want that because it's a responsibility. Because once you get it, it's your responsibility now to tell everybody else. That's what's going on. And this is why people don't even understand what Noble Drew Ali was doing at that time frame. He had to do certain things because our people were so religified. And right now, today, in 2016, I don't know what you want to call it, because really it's too much information out here today, but too much. You, like I said, you can Google stuff now. But how is it that we're only studying one book? You see what I'm saying? It's not, and then when you speak, they think you're speaking against it. It's not that, brother. I'm trying to get you to read other things. I just pulled out 2 books and said, why are you talking about J.A. Rogers and David McRitchie was written in 1884? This is before a lot of your scholars. This brother did it in the 1920s. Why are we not talking about him? Why are we not talking about David McRitchie, who bricks? Listen, I'm gonna show y'all something. Even though my book is beat up, right? This book is real beat up.
I've been studying.
I don't know about the beard, man. This book is so. It speaks about William Penn, right? And he speaks about the Black Templars in his book. There's somewhere in here. William Penn speaks about the Black Templars. If I can find it somewhere in here. Speaks about the American Indians. Hold on. It's somewhere in his book. Y'all can pass this around, but my book is kind of beat up, y'all. Yes. But I would, here you go. Here you go. Don't laugh at me. Okay? Right there, bro. Now, I'm just, could you read it out loud real quick? Okay, bro.
Entire paragraph?
Yep, highlight. Why don't they teach this?
Okay, so the entire paragraph, including the highlight, right? Or-
Yeah, just do the highlight. There's the highlights.
Oh, okay, got
Let
it.
me see if y'all ever heard them teach this in school.
The rhyme with which Scotch mothers used to awe their children spoke of the Black Templar. And in 1681, the Indians of New England, or Moors, as they were also styled by the settlers, were pronounced by William Penn to be as black as gypsies.
Do they teach that in school? Why not? Raising your emotions. That's in 1681.
Wow.
This is in a magazine too. So now, why ain't they teaching that in school? See, it was interchangeable. Let me tell you the story behind this. When you start studying the whole thing of Scotland, Scotland means black land. That's what it means. It's Gaelic. They spoke Gaelic. Right? When St. Patrick's Day come around, you should see me in LA. I'll be in Long Beach. They told as this Europeans, they get pissed off when you know this information. I'm telling y'all this. I'm sitting there in a coffee shop, getting ready for my show. It was a Thursday. St. Patrick's Day come. He said to talk to the dude, the European leans to the brother and said, "Are you Irish?" And he said, "Nah, dude." I said, I leaned over and said, "Yes, you are, bro. You original Irish." It was so, you should have seen the European look. He was stunned that he was like, did he just say that? And I went into the whole spill of Ireland. How they were talking about get the snakes out of Ireland. They were talking about the Moors that was there. We are the Twa people. Look it up.
Yes.
Look up the Twa people.
Yeah.
TWA, Twa people.
What about the Druids? Like I
That's
said,
us too.
like when they
Read the
said
book.
the
It's
snakes,
in
they
there.
were referring to the
They were
Druids.
talking about us. That's the whole history of them destroying our history. That's why he said that we were more still then. So we was the Druids, we was the Twa people, we was all the Twa was the little people. And then what the European do, they made an airplane called TWA.
Yeah.
Put it right in front of your face. Really? How unconscious? I'm telling you what they do, they sit it right in front of you. But you ain't looking for that, you're looking for slavery. So anything pertains to slavery, you're looking for that. You're not looking for this. So it's sitting right in front of your face. There you go. So we're playing a victim role and they're going to feed off of that. So once you understand how media works, when I was in film school, I didn't even know, I don't know if my brother knows this, but when I was in film school, they said if you look up at a person, that makes you feel inferior. When you look down, the camera angle makes you superior. I said, damn. This is how they play the camera role. And I'm sitting there watching this like, people don't even get this. I'm in film school watching this. And I'm saying, damn. So when you're looking at something, you thinking it's right, but it's not. So when you pull stuff out like this, it's hard for our people to digest that because you've been taught this all your life. So this is, it's like expanding your brain to think more. That's all it's doing. And you become a problem. When I sat with Earl Grant, I don't know if y'all familiar with Earl Grant. Earl Grant was the one that was filming Malcolm X. All Malcolm stuff he was filming. When Malcolm got shot, that was his tape recorder got shot with a bullet that hit it. That's why you see the numbers rolling. You don't hear no sound. You just see numbers rolling on there when Malcolm was laying there. When I sat with him, he's in LA. He's about 98 years old, 100, something like that. He said Malcolm wasn't the problem. Malcolm was talking about the white man was the devil. He said they knew that. It's like, man, they don't care about you talking about black power and white people. They don't care. They got that. We figured that out a long time ago. We got the Negroes. We gonna just do this over here. Put the basketball game when they gonna forget about it. I'm being real. Football game. Don't worry about it. They gonna forget about it. You know what he said Malcolm's problem was when Malcolm became a threat? He said when Malcolm started talking about how the game was. He said when he started putting people on game and how this law works and all this, that's when Malcolm became a threat. You ain't no threat. Talk about that history, what I just showed you. That's just part of it. This is just this book. I ain't even go there. I just gave y'all a news article. Why aren't you talking about that news article? Where do you think your 7-Eleven come from? The stores. You do some research. Okay.
Also, they talked about when he traveled, he was given knowledge of the original people that existed in Arabic countries or, the Middle East. Because he saw more Islamic people that were in other countries that was his country. He was speaking about it.
Who?
He said that Malcolm X.
Malcolm said a lot of that, but that's why he said that when he went over there. He started giving the history. Malcolm started waking up. Arab, period, means a traveling man. That's what Arab means. People keep making it seem like this means a traveler, like a nomad. That's what Arab means, person that moves from place to place. That's what Arab means. So when people make it seem like Arab is some type of group of, no, it means a person that moves from place to place, which is a nomad.
Pretty much. Yes.
That's all it means. We were moving from place to place. That's it. But we keep making it seem like it's a group of people. I'm telling y'all, you gotta, I wish I had cameras when I meet these people. It's hilarious. They be like, where you from, bro? Like automatically, where you from? Because you don't talk like a black person. When the cab driver dropped me off at the airport in San Antonio, we're talking. I'm listening to his accent. He looks like the dude from, what's that TV series, Bad? Something Bad? What's that dude called? Y'all know what I'm talking about. Breaking Bad. He looked, no lie, he looked like I'm in the cab, I'm sitting there saying, damn, this nigga look like he gonna take me somewhere else. I'm looking for stuff, and, he looked that crazy. And I'm sitting there like, man, and I'm listening to his accent. So he pulls up at the airport. I was like, yo, brother, where you from? He said, I'm from Spain. I said, oh, under the loose. That's what he said, right? So we started talking, and he asked me where I was from. And he said, you should go to Under the Loose when I get to Spain. He said, oh, you'll see all your history there. He said, your history there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's what he said. So I'm talking to him about the Rock of Gibraltar. We building on this about the Rock of Tariq the Moor. And about, when Jay-Z said, how could you falter when you're the Rock of Gibraltar? Jay said it in the song. What is it? When you start studying this history, you'll start putting it together. The horse is called the stallion. Why do you think Rocky's called the Italian stallion? The horse is on a Porsche and a Ferrari. It's made in Europe. But it's your history. But see, people don't want this because it's too much like right, so we want to deal with the emotional and point fingers at people. But they took this from them. Well, then take it back from them. That's all you got to do. So when I hear people speaking like, oh brother, we was Egyptians and we was, I said, there ain't nothing wrong with that, bro. Go take Egypt back. That's what I said. Nothing wrong with it. Go fight. But I knew last time I found out, you got to get permission to dig in your own land.
Yeah.
I ain't have to get permission to go in my refrigerator, but you got to get permission to dig in something that's yours. How many of those people, they are Europeans digging over there. And you can't go nowhere near there. Study history. I got another magazine I bought when I was in San Antonio showing the queen walking through and we are the servants on the other side while she's walking with all the dudes from England, and they got this thing cut off from 1920s and they're digging our stuff up. How? Let's be realistic. That's why I tell people, get away from the emotions. I got to deal with what's over here. This is ours, and we got to take this back over here. So how do you take it back? You take it back through your knowledge. This is why I tell people to get law dictionaries, study etymology, study real history, because it's here. But they keep making it seem like the Moors is some type of religious group again, like some type of clique that we just, oh yeah, y'all just started in 1982. Brother, how long Noble Drelly been around doing this, brother? 1913. The flag, the Moorish flag that's flown here, I had people from Morocco tell me, oh, you wearing my flag? I said, that's not your flag, this is my flag. And I would show them. And they would get, wait a minute, what do you know? You gotta know history. So when you start bringing this type of stuff up, trust me, they shut down.
So a lot of your information, a lot of what what inspired you to really study this comes from this guy, Noble Drew Ali? Is this
It
the
wasn't
guy that
him. It was started, but it didn't come to me that way.
Okay.
It came through me, through another brother that was dealing law. Then he introduced me to that. What Noble Drew Ali was doing in 1913s, 1920s, he was bringing it to our people that we were not Negro, black, and colored. That we had a nationality. In Philadelphia is where our nationality was taken in. People don't understand. In 1774, I'm from Philly. I grew up, I never saw a cherry tree in Philly. I didn't know what that meant, but there is no cherry trees in Philly. So I'm like, what is this? I was taught the same story until I started studying this information. And I said, oh, that's what he's talking about. Your nationality was cut down and Negro, black, and color was placed on you at that time frame in 1779. It's a fact. If you go to Philly, you will see a lot of this information. See what I'm saying? It's there. So Noble Drew Ali was trying to bring it to our people at that time frame. But our people so religified, like today, we still religified. We so caught up in Christianity, boy, I'll tell you. Now it's not even Christianity anymore. It's all this other crazy stuff. Everybody's coming out the woodwork. Oh, I'm Egyptiality, and I'm dude, I got you, I'm that too. If I said I'm Ethiopian today, people look at me like I'm crazy, but nobody else would. They didn't know that, but if I say that to a so-called black person, they say, brother, you just say you're trying to be black, brother. But aren't the Egyptians, Ethiopians is in Africa, right? I didn't say I wasn't African, I said I'm not black. You know what I mean? Like, but this is how we work on emotionalism. That's how we work. But I know, like I said, this stuff is hard for some people because it's expanding your mentality. It's expanding, and it hurts sometimes. It's like a headache. You're like, ah, damn, I just want to go back to sleep. You know, I'm going to go to sleep. And that's how we are. You see what I'm saying? And again, I know reality hurts, and people don't want that. Some people, and I heard the brother back there, and I wish he would have stayed in here, and that's what happens. They say when you get truth, some people don't want it. They say, I got to go. I'm going to start my own conversation. I'm going to stick with that, and that's how people are. Instead of staying in the room. You ever hear Farrakhan say, don't leave the room early? Listen to Farrakhan. Don't leave early. You're going to take half the story and then run to the media and say, oh, he said this. You follow me? That's why I said we have to record everything, because right now we're projecting ourselves into the future. So people can see this. So someone can say, well, I was sitting in the room and and they said he was against black power. You never heard me say that. You follow me? I said study and research. But people leave with a little bit of this information and then run with it. As if I said that, and I did not say that. Because they don't want to study this information, brother. It's like what we have done is to put everything together so you won't have to do the research we did. When you won't have to sit in law libraries for hours or get books for hours and just put them all together. Here's a book, Brother D. Can you see that book real quick on the table? I think the green one. I'm going to show you what it was. The green one. I'm going to show you one of the lesson books. The green one. Actually, give me both of them on the table. No, it's the books. The books. See the two tabs right there? No, on the table where the DVDs at. Or my mama used to say it was a snake you would bite. Right? There's two books right there. That one and the other one. The green one. The white one too. Give me that one too. Give me the other one. I'm gonna show you something. This is what we do. Right? No. The one that it said America. It's white. So I think it's this one. No, it's not in this one. This is just one of them, right? Matter of fact, bro, you can look at that. This is one of them. See the bottom, what's the definition of America? We put stuff together like that for people so they don't have to do research. That is the definition, right, of what it is. And this is just in one of the books that we put together to show people what the continental flag looked like. This is a continental flag. That is a flag of a continent. The flag that everybody's flying is the United States flag. We keep calling this a continent, and this is we keep calling this a country, and this is a continent. Look how media does it again. Our country. What country? Did I ever tell you what kind of country this is? This is a continent. North America, we went to school, right? North America is a continent. South America is a continent. But yet they get on TV and say, my country. And y'all don't question what's the name of the country. But this is what we do. This is the information that we put out for everybody. Like I said, I don't want nobody to follow me, believe me, none of that. Research it yourself. This is what we do here. I don't like lectures. I like to have workshops so we can show people. We got enough people lecturing.
Right.
We need to start showing our people this information. And y'all should start asking them, where is this information at? Don't get caught up in your emotions.
Where's your information at? I look at a lot of these lectures on YouTube and I be like, dude, they're not even showing you anything. And then I'm like, where? What books did they pull out? What books did they tell you to get? I just told y'all to get an unabridged, get 100 Amazing Facts. There's a store. What's this store down there? It's a brother's. It's an underground books. I think it is. What's online? Frontline? Online? Frontline. Every time I come here, I buy like 8 of these books from him. And I leave 2 on the shelf purposely. Every time I come to in a city, I buy these and just have them. And I leave 2 sitting on the shelf in case somebody else come in. We need to get stuff like that. They don't tell you to go find this information. Teach your children. It's basic. Like I said, even this book that Brother Taj put together, Breaking the Chains of Mental Slavery. We don't even study this stuff. There's a whole lot of stuff just in this book alone with references. You can go look up what Moor mean, what black mean, what this mean, and they actually walk you through dictionaries. I think I got it, is in here. Yup. Make sure I get this back too. Look at the definitions in it. Let's read off some of the dictionaries in what years. I'm gonna show y'all something. Can I have my paper brother for these kids? Can't have you doing it. No, you read it loud. Just the definitions. Just show them.
Just go to the dictionary references.
Yep, the dictionary. This is what we do.
Okay. Webster's Popular Dictionary, 1931, Black or More, a Negro.
Say that again.
The Webster's Popular Dictionary, 1931, Black or More, noun, a Negro. Webster's New American, 1957, Moor, a native Morocco, or a North African Muslim. New Century Dictionary, 1927, Moorish, of or pertaining to the Moors, in the style of the Moors as architecture, decoration, etc. The students and people who bear the brands and labels, Negro, black, colored, etc., may take notice of how the state's
let's read the dictionary.
Okay.
You gotta read that. I was just
All
telling
right.
this is the references of all the
references.
dictionaries.
Okay,
This is what we do.
Webster's New American, 1957. Webster's New 20th Century, 1936. Webster's 7th New Collegiate, 1966.
And all that says what about? Who they talking about?
Moors, Negroes. Moors,
So they're showing you, they're talking about the same people. No matter which way, they're interchangeable.
Yeah, all talking about Moors.
So they're talking about you, but yet we arguing over here saying, well, brother, we all were Moors. Well, which one are you then? Which one are you if you're not that then?
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? So, again, get some old dictionaries and start looking this information up. That's all people gotta do.
It's funny, because a lot of this information will be right in front of your face.
I just told you that, bro. I just told you that. It's just that nobody brought it to your attention. And this is what, I mean, I was with KRS-One one day in LA. KRS-One picked up a phone, right? He did a function with Mexicans, no lie. Room full of Mexicans in there, right? So KRS-One came in there with a, no lie, he came in there with a cart, no lie, with mad stacked books. He's coming in. He's taking everything out. He's stacking them up on the table. So he goes and he sits there and says, he went up to a speaker like this. All Mexicans, mind you. They was on point. They was loving it, right? He said, he put his hand up against a speaker like this. He said, do I look like this? Everybody know how dark Chris is. He said, do I look like this? They said, no. Then he picked up a piece of paper. He said, do you know anybody look like this? They said, no.
Right.
So what happened, he said, we got our phones now. He said, these 2 thumbs operate this. He said, when you use your phone, you be like this, looking up stuff. It controls these. It makes you think. We're not thinking. So again, I said it earlier, everything is sitting right in front of your face. So once you get it, you will understand it's all yours. So when Europeans say, well, y'all blacks think y'all invented everything, I'm like, dude, I'm not black. That's the problem. So when you think of black and not understanding the color code caste system, that they're going to say, okay, I got him, we ain't got to worry about him. What are you? African American? Okay, we got you too. Okay. What are you? Colored? Okay, we got you. We know where you coming from right now.
Yeah.
Oh shoot, damn, what about this one? That's the thing. They say, what about this one? Because if you sit with a Moor, he's not going to play that game. He's going to run everything down to you and make it universal. You see what I'm saying? So when you're dealing with that, slavery, the black thing, you're a slave. That's all you were. So that's all you focusing on. That's it. That's all. That's how they playing us. That's what they're doing. No, you lead by example.
Exactly.
Some may dislike Farrakhan, but I look at him as an example because I see what he go through me like, damn, you're good. By example.
Yes.
So everybody's not going to be this. You see what I'm saying? You're going to have people who hate you because of you being conscious. You're going to have women come at you with certain. When I tell you that I was prepared in the Nation of Islam about this, brother pulled me to the side and said, well, what happened? There was many times European women came at me. Again, it's you. It's how you deal with it. I'm not a fan of chasing money like that. You see what I'm saying? Once they understand, this is what they're doing with our people, with black people. They say, okay, we figured out this person's weakness. He like little girls, we're gonna put a little girl in front of him. He like little boys, we're gonna push a little boy in front of him. Just do it smoothly.
Right.
See what I'm saying? This is what they do to us. So we gotta be aware 24/7, not to fall for the trap.
Whoa.
And other one.
I guess he's. Yeah. I ain't know it's cardboard either.
So essentially, being the Moor is more on principle than on ethnicity.
It's ethnicity and principle. It's both of them. Ethnicity and principle, both of them. Because what happens when you watch Italians, I was watching a movie, what was it? Damn, I can't think of the name of this movie. It was, they went to kill, and also it was a Scarface. They went to kill everybody in the car. Remember the scene? They was in the car, and they was going to blow up the car, and Scarface was in the car. They said, no, we're not killing him, we want the dude. And he shot the dude in the head. That's principles.
Children, right?
We have principles that we don't do certain things. There's 5 principles that we stand on. There's love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. You beat them with truth. You love somebody. That's why Malcolm said this is love teaching. You love them, and that will happen, everything will fall apart. I don't have anger for nobody, even the ones that have against me. That's why I leave you like Minister Farrakhan. I hate you. Marvin Gaye, they have a song called Anger. It makes you old, it makes you sick. You put a D on anger, you become dangerous. And when you're dangerous, you can't think.
Yes.
See what I'm saying? So all these things have to have principle. No matter how much you dislike me, I'm going to kill you with love as long as you don't put your hands on me. That's how I am. You can say all you want to say. But that's about love teaching. That's it. So it's about principles. That's what Noble Drew Ali was saying. Let's go back to our ancient forefathers, where we came from. That's what we need to be doing.
But what about the ethnicity? I mean, technically, this is something that doesn't exist in. If we're pretty much from one place, and right? You can't say, because, and I say that because of the fact that when I think about North America, when I think about the natives, you think about how they look, right? This is how they look like those natives. And I'm assuming that what you're saying is that that's not the case. They didn't necessarily look like those people, but they just look like regular people or various types of people. Is that where
it depends on where you were at. Again, everybody was different. Our cultures, like me being from Philly, I'm different from somebody from Chi-Town. I'm different from somebody from LA. When I was in LA, we're the same people. Same people, right? They would call you black, me black. But you from Chi-Town, your culture's different. I'm from Philly. So when I was in LA, I seen a brother there. Now mind you, we have a saying, what's up? That's what we say, what's up? That means how you doing? Yeah. So when I walked past the brother in LA, I said, what up? He jumped off the wall, what up, cuz? We're the same people, but the cultures are different. Yeah. So it didn't matter where we were at, but what we were doing, we knew how to mix with our own people. When you saw the slaves that was running away, they were mixing with us that they call Indians. They were amalgamating with them.
Yes.
We were the same people. We spoke like, there's a, dude, this in this
so are they phenotypically different? My question is because I think the point that I'm getting at is that since people change by region over time, the question is that why is it that all the black people here don't look alike? Why is it that we're even phenotypically different? If we're supposedly from this, we're indigenous to this particular region.
Okay, so because we were over there and over here. We were in different places for a certain, like let's see, for instance, I just told you I was joking about that me up there. I said, look, he got a tan. Remember I said that? I said, look, he got a tan. I was in LA. I live in LA, but my complexion changed since I was in LA for 5 years. I'm getting darker. Somebody told me y'all started talking different. You know what I mean? Like they would say, dude, you don't talk like, you don't talk like you from back east. Now, if I stay back east and come back to LA, I'm speaking different now. This is only in top 5 years. Imagine decades of this. Me never leaving nowhere, staying right there. And staying, matter of fact, where's that place at that's cold at all the time? Is it Wisconsin? No, not there. What's it?
Minnesota.
Minnesota? With no sun is that and none of that stuff?
Alaska.
No, not Alaska. It's right here. It's oh my God, y'all know what I'm talking about. It rains all the time. It's up in northern where Cali's at. Seattle.
Washington. Seattle.
No lie. I met a dude from there. He said, dude, you don't want to go there. He said there ain't nothing but no sun, no rain. He said rain. I said I couldn't live there. He said I don't know how I'm doing it because what happens there's no sun. So imagine being somewhere for so long, no sun, no nothing, language changing over decades of going nowhere. Period. That's why I said you look like somebody that could be from they call the Giddy, the Gullah Geechees. You look like that. That's us. West Africans. They went right there. So when they talk about this whole slave thing that we're jumping off, we was in South America, so they brought you from South America up to North America, across the Macy-Dixie line. It took you from one part, then to another part. Listen, Hollywood crazy. I watch movies totally different. I'll be like, damn, again, understanding film. When I'm watching 12 Years a Slave, I said, damn, they took him. Remember the part when they got him drunk? And they took him. He didn't go that far. He went right from one state to another, remember? And he said, hey, you a runaway slave. He said, no, I'm not, I'm free. This is what's happened. They only took you from one state to another state, to a slave state. That's how they did it. Not far, one state to a slave state. This is what's happening with our people. So we're thinking that we're free. This is what they're doing. Every state was a country. People understand that neither. Every state was a country amongst their own. Go Google when the states became states. You can find it.
I think also the conflict comes in as a time where Africans that were actually being sent away, like which caused a lot of the destruction, and which also caused the partition as well in Africa, right? Even before that, you have what about when you mentioned that the fact that you can't find a slave ship? Then the question is that okay, then how is it possible that many of the people that were from parts of West Africa, when they had these slave ports there, how is it possible for them to get there? I mean, they had to get here somehow. Yeah, right.
They had to get here somehow. But we've been doing shit. We were coming back and forth though. This is why, But we have to study history and find out how that happened and when it happened. In the Marines, they have a song called From the Halls of Montezuma to the Shores of Tripoli. Yeah. Montezuma was a Moor. Go look him up. You call him a Mexican. But if you go to San Antonio, when I go, I look at totally different. I'll talk to the people that's there. They will tell you that they look like you. They'll tell you that Montezuma looked like you. They're talking about you. So we already been back and forth to these places. And wherever you stood, you became a slave. And I'm not saying slavery did not happen the way they said it happened. I'm just saying it not that way. All of us did not come over here that way. A lot of us came here and started amalgamating with our people. Long before the slave trade even happened.
What he was referring to, I think, is the fact that we were here. We were indigenous to this region. But what happened was they were so brutal and they were so, they were killing us en masse. That's why they had to go literally back to the source, back to Africa to get more. Because they literally took from all the islands and brought everybody here to do all the work. But they was killing us in such mass numbers. So they literally had to go get more. And that's what they're trying to use.
What he was saying is that there's no slave ship. But there were ships. This was commerce.
I didn't say it didn't. Listen, I said, show me one. That's all I'm asking. That's the only sensible person would say that. Just show me one. That's all. I didn't say it was or wasn't, right? I said, show me one. You show me everything else. You tell me about the Titanic, the Noah's Ark. I'm just saying, just show me that, and I can rock with that. I can say, okay, I can. I was in Texas. I keep telling y'all, when you go places, you see things. I saw a ship in the Pacific. What you call it, the Gulf, whatever it is out there in Texas. It was sitting there. This dude, he was on a boat, and he was taking us all the way out to the Gulf. And he did a U-turn, and he comes back. So he shows us a ship that was sitting there, and the ship was like the size of this room. He said, oh, this ship was in the 1700s, and he gave it a whole rundown. And in my mind, because it clicked, I'm like, well, if they can keep this, Where the hell is slave shipping? If they can keep that right there, right? I took a picture of it too. If they can keep that, then why don't they keep the slave ship? Don't tell me that, because that's not how Europeans is. Europeans will destroy you and put you out to the world. You see what they did to Gaddafi, you see they did to Saddam, you see they do it to everybody.
And it was ships. It was not just one.
Exactly.
You mean,
Ships.
I mean, you saying it's not a slave ship in the sense of how we see in the picture, but just small ships they use.
I don't know how. I'm just saying, just show me one. It wasn't just one ship. Just show one.
They didn't show one.
You didn't show me one ship. That's all I'm saying. If you can show me one, not a pan, then I can create my vision and do it myself. All I'm saying is just show me one picture, and I can rock with you. That's all I'm saying.
I like that you said I think that you like unmoved by things, being unmoved by egoism, you're unmoved by that. And so what I've been struggling with is we focus on spiritual enlightenment and what we look like, what we think is chaos. Once we connect with that one purpose of nature, what we think is chaos all around us will start to unfold. We'll all watch it unfold. We'll step back from that. What is chaos? What we think is chaos, like all this slavery. What we think is all of the bad things about us, all of the war about us, the hate about us, the greed about us, the lust about us, hate about, just all of that egoism. We'll start to watch it unfold.
You see it unfold. You ever see a painter? You ever see a painter be up on the joint? They say you can't look at it like that. You got to do this.
Yes.
You ever see them do that in the paint? They say you got to come back here to actually see it. We are like this. But you got to step back like this and say,
Exactly.
now I got it. I see it. Because it all going to start coming together.
Even when you can't see it.
It's not that we're against it. It's just that we're bringing this to you saying, look, you got to see it. It's like, I can't make you, but you got to see it. So when you start building, J.A. Rogers said, the best teaching or learning is traveling.
Yes,
That's what J.A. Rogers said. The best. That's when I read his book, Superman the Man, and as I'm reading his book, he's talking about how he was on trains and how the guys told him, yo, this is your best teaching right here. Like Europeans are telling him this information. So when I travel, I'm talking to different people. No matter what state I go to, I'm talking to them. I don't care if you're from China, I don't care if you're from wherever, I'm building with you. And I'm starting out where you're from. If I'm on a bus with a bunch of Chinese people in New York, I'll be like, you from Manchuria? They'll be like, yeah. They'll be like, oh, we are Oriental. I'll be like, no, I'm original. You see their face? I'm like, no, I'm an original man. So when you understand that, you can start building with them, and then they'll open up to you and start telling you stuff. But if you sit back and just say slavery, because I was in Temple University, bro. I went there in the library. I didn't go to school. In the library, they have a floor full of everybody was involved in slavery, dude. No lie. I sat on the floor like a kid in a candy store, pulling books off the shelves, like, and putting them on the floor. And I'm sitting on the floor in Temple, like, do we know this even exists? This is in Temple University, like rows of this stuff. And it would take you through everybody that was involved in slavery. Everybody that was slaves, Chinese people, Irish people, all these people. So my thing is like, we king and queens, why the hell we don't know who we are? Why we can't go back? Why we making it so hard and complex and, oh, dude, I don't know, we wasn't this. Dude, don't say that you weren't nothing until you research it. What it is that we're not researching it. This is why we put the information the way we put the stuff together, so people can lock themselves in the room and then they find it and come out and say, okay, I got it. That's how you empower people. You empower them by that, not to say, yeah, well, the white man did this and the white man did that. You're like, nigga, I'd be sitting, if I was a European, I ain't gonna lie, I'd be sitting back and say, these niggas, okay, they ain't got it yet. I'll wait. Matter of fact, we got something else for them, don't worry about it. You see what I'm saying? This is how they play. No matter what we're doing, no matter how. Even when I did this thing with Sarah Sumisetti, when he kept saying the white man did it, I said, dude, listen, the reality, dude, you got on a plane with the white man's documents, dude.
Right.
I fly a lot, and I have all kinds of stuff, and I know the hell I go through that just because of my name, though. But when these cats are saying the white, if you don't listen, I don't sit with my enemies. If I hate somebody that much, I'm not going to associate myself with you.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Don't make an excuse, you know what I mean, on why you doing it. You just do it the best way you do. If you say he's the devil, then why do business with the devil?
Right.
Or you don't know history. We always conducted business with nations. That's what nations do. Nations deal with nations. Why are we sitting here blaming him? They're your children. Moors know that they're your children. We know. We know what Mason means. It means my son.
Yes.
A mother's son. That's what it means. So why? Why am I beating and saying, oh yeah, well, white man did this, dude, whatever, dude. You don't see what he's doing. About a month ago, he did the film. He said he was in DC. He said, oh, they didn't let us go into the Masonic Lodge. I knew they wasn't going to let him. He was all hyped. He put it on Facebook. We're going to the Masonic Lodge. I said, okay. I'm saying in my head, I didn't want to disappoint him, but I knew he wasn't going to go. Why? Because they don't let him in there. But when we went there as more, they let us on the 3rd floor. People understand the science. But we had feathers on our heads. They know exactly who we are. They know who we are. But again, we can't tell the world this, because if they woke up, what would happen if tomorrow they said, you know what? This is y'all's, black people. Just think about what black people do. Just think about it for a minute. What do you think they would do?
You're right back to it.
There you go. I've seen it happen with Moors. I swear I saw it happen. When Moors got this, some of our people, they got this information. What this is, nigga, I don't need no tags on my car, nigga. Yeah. This is the stuff they were doing. So again, it's about principles and morals. You take it back like that. So if you get this, man, Europeans be right back in chains again. You being real. So while they prepping, and I tell these cats you over here showing your guns,
Right.
and you standing out there talking about this, I be like, dude, listen, they got a game for all that. They can tell you it's a fire on this block right here. You got to vacate 3 blocks. Everybody can leave out their house and vacate them guns. They will go in everybody's house and find out who got guns. Let me see. Okay, he got a gun. He got a gun. He got it. Okay. Oh, it's a false alarm. Everybody can go back. You get a note in the mail probably saying you got to come somewhere. They don't say you had X, Y, and Z. People don't even get it. So you told them, talking about you got guns, like Farrakhan said, they pop guns, dude. They got guns.
Right. They're giving the guns.
My girl, I saw some stuff out there. She little. I was looking like, what the hell is that you got? Her husband was in the military. He passed away, but I'm looking at the damn joint. I don't even know what that was. I'm like, what is this joint? Like, it was crazy. It was like some type of machine gun. But I'm looking at it like, the niggas be holding that? Man, you better stop playing, Jack. They not worrying about you. But if you get the knowledge, and you get the cats that's on the street, because the gang is on the street, you just get them this information. That's what they're afraid of. They're afraid of us coming together. That is the thing. So now you have cats that's in these movements that want to keep us separated. I don't argue with Mexicans, because that's my family. We'll argue with them and say they're taking jobs. No, they're not. They ain't taking no jobs. No, not taking them. They're doing jobs that you don't want.
That's true.
That's it. You got to talk with all these different people. When I speak with Mexicans, you know what they tell me? Oh, we just taking our money and we sending it back to Mexico so we can get our people here. I say, damn. That's how they operate. But yet the media say, well, the Mexicans are taking the jobs. They're not. But we telling people to go get jobs, telling people to create jobs. That's why I respect Just. Like, even what he does here. This is, you have to build it. You have to build your own. Create your job. I tell people to lose their job and find their work. Period. But again, they have to keep us divided. As long as we divided on petty, silly stuff, and with, like I was talking to Brother Jay last time I was here, Brother Jay said these cats be speaking with no facts. That's what he says. They speaking with no facts. This was what Brother Jay and I had. We had a conversation at the club, and we sitting there, and he said, these cats are speaking without no facts. They just telling people stuff.
Brother Jay from Next Line.
Yeah, from Next Line. They telling people stuff, but there's no facts that they're presenting. I just showed y'all a lot of stuff today. Just showing y'all stuff where you can look this information up. And that's why I said I wish that brother didn't leave, because I understand he's caught up in his emotions. That's what he was. Okay? That's why I said
a little bit of anger too.
When you angry, you can't think. When you angry, you can't think.
Some people can't handle the truth.
They can't handle the truth. And it's like, you heard, remember Nick, what's the guy name in that movie? He said, you can't handle the truth. Remember he said that?
I remember saying that.
They can't handle the truth.
Because everything that they've ever known
That's what happened.
is what they know. And so That's a part of the process.
If I don't know something, I'm one that say I don't know. I'm so serious. I'll be like, I will get back with you.
Yes.
That's just me. I will go home, research it, and say, okay, I got it. That's why I tell people to use their phones, write stuff down, look this information up for yourself. Do not take what I say at face value. Research everything. When you see it, it may make you angry, but if you're aware and conscious, you won't be mad.
I have a question about the documentary. You have the documentary. You have a subject matter on genetic annihilation. What were you all talking about?
I don't know who did that part.
I didn't
Was
see
it
it.
Umar?
It just popped up while you were talking. So I was going to ask you. It was on your documentary.
Was it Umar John?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I just saw genetic annihilation. I didn't see it.
Well, that's happening too. Listen, I'm gonna tell you about even that. When you dealing with that, you notice the interracial relationship. There used to be a law called. Actually, you can look it up. Look at it. Let me show you something. How crazy this is. Why you spoke about that? Look up. Have you ever heard of miscegenation, y'all?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, race mixing.
You never heard of it? Well, matter of fact, let him look it up. Give it to him. Miscegenation.
1967.
I know that book. I know this book. I know this book all too well. I'm his brother, so he can understand it. It's right there, it's on the Bible. Let me explain this to you. You see it?
Yeah, I see it.
Read it.
A mixture of races, marriage between persons of different races, or between a white person and a Negro.
Go, it should be something else.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it? You heard what it said, right? Read it again loud for everybody.
Stand up.
You in school. Stand up. Stand up, brother.
I do all that. Mixture of races. Marriage between persons of different races, that's between a white person and a Negro.
So now, that's why you need a marriage license. Now look up marriage license in that same book. I'm going to show you something. This has been going on for eons. This is why they did not want Doni Lafayette to marry Princess Diana. This is the story of Popeye and Brutus. Popeye was an Englishman. Brutus was us.
They took her out. You're not going to shame the family.
We were the original Brits. We were the original Brits. So when you see Popeye and Brutus, he always had a hue complexion. He was the big one, the brute.
Yeah.
Popeye was the English dude. Olive was our sister. She was the melanin. Olive is our complexion. So they were always fighting over the woman. Whoever impregnates the woman inherits the land. That's how it goes. Everybody come from a woman. We all have a neighbor.
Yes.
That's where we come from. We don't come from man, we come from woman. So they ask you when you do it, when you get jobs and credit, they ask you what's your mother's maiden name. They don't ask you what your father's name is. Your mother's a slave and your father's a slave. That's how it goes. They don't come from the man, they come from the woman. That's why the Moors wear the fez on their head, because the fez represent the womb of the woman, the ability to call the placenta. Ain't got to do with religion.
Yes.
It got something to do with the woman. So we always honor the woman. That's what the fez represents, and that's your universe that we call university.
Not the woman, but the feminine principle.
Exactly. This is universe because we all come from that womb of the woman.
Exactly.
That's why it's called the university. That's what that is. We get our education from the womb of the woman. So whatever the mother eats, whatever the mother intakes, whatever is coming out of her. That's how it is. So Europeans now are tapping into that. They've been tapping into it. But they didn't want that to happen right there. So that's why they made the law and they have to have a license to get married. So they saw money in it now.
Right.
They said, you found marriage license?
No, I haven't.
It's in there. Marriage license in there. It should be under marriage license. I know it's under there. But marriage license and marriage certificate was two different things. A license is for interracial marriages. For a certificate, you did not need that. For two people of the same race to meet. That's how it was. People don't get it. So, we got church in here? But that's the purpose but that's the whole purpose of the marriage license. It was for interracial, so they saw money. So now they said, okay, we're gonna make money off this, we can keep this thing going. There was a case probably in 1960, brother. I don't know if you remember this case. It's called not the kissing case. That's I think it was
1967.
I know exactly.
You know what I'm talking about? It's an old case.
1967. That's when they
it was
with
the
the
European
nation laws.
Yeah, those two. It was I think it was a European woman and a brother. It's a big case. Yes, in Virginia. So they had to leave from Virginia to go to D.C. D.C. was a safe haven. And And that's what it is right now. Basically, blacks are subjects of the federal government, which is DC. That's how it's set up. So you were protected in a district, not the state itself. Now they expanded the districts out further. Each state has a district in it. So it comes from DC. This is your zip codes, 191 and stuff like that. That's saying that you're in the District of Columbia area. And every city has a municipality. So what happened, they expanded it. It's called the Buck Act. Look it up online, B-U-C-K, Act. So what happens, you were protected under that. And that's what, when you look at that case and you understand what was going on, it started from that. And they said, wait a minute, what we can do is make money off of this. Because really it was against the law, and it still is. But they can't tell it. And this is why they even went at O.J. Simpson, because the stuff is still in the book. People don't realize that. It's still there. But they can't tell you that because it will be an uproar. So we're going to bring in the black leaders. Let them talk. But they're not going to talk about the miscegenation. Everybody from Princess Diana, Dodi Lafayette, he was a sand nigga, she was the queen. That's how it was. And she was pregnant when she was in an accident.
Yes, exactly.
So what would have happened after that? Her family would have been sitting on the throne right after that. They can't have that happen. We don't get that. No other nation does that. So now, what are they doing in Ethiopia? Do y'all know what's happening in Ethiopia right now? So I think y'all should research it. Y'all gonna hear about it real soon. Real soon. Go look at my show a week ago. I had an Ethiopian brother on there, and we had this conversation. They are in Ethiopia buying up everything in Ethiopia, the Chinese people. They're building hotels, all that. But guess what he said? They can't own land.
So
right?
they're marrying.
Say that again?
They're marrying.
There you go. So now what happened? So this is what him and I having this conversation. So when I told him, he said they impregnating Ethiopians. This is what he said, right? So I said, oh, that's their way in. So now he said they can't own it. So what happens?
They're putting the kids down.
There you go. The offspring is going to happen. So now in about 5 or 10 or 20 more years, they're going to have the heirs of Ethiopia. So they're impregnating them because it all come from the woman. They said they had the women locked off from the rest of the Ethiopians in Ethiopia.
See, wasn't
They blocking them off.
That's
yes.
crazy.
Well, we over here, well, I don't like them there. They're not Africa. That's Africa, brother. I love this sister from Ethiopia. That's Africa.
Of course.
But we over here don't even understand history. That's what they're doing. We don't even get it.
What about that story with Pocahontas? Was it that dude? Pocahontas.
What about it?
The story about that.
I mean, it's the same thing. It's the same thing with Montezuma.
That's from the late.
It never stopped. When you look at Montezuma and what they were doing, they killed off all the dudes. They started mixing with them. This is where you get your Mexicans and everything from. They started amalgamating with them. It's the same thing with Spain. All of this stuff they started amalgamating with our women. So now centuries go on and we say, why we look like this? Why we look like that? Because they amalgamated with your woman. And we allow it to happen. I see it in LA all the time. You know what we call it? MIAs. That's code word. Moors in action. People don't even know why I'm gonna say that. We walk past, we like, MIA. More in action.
Love it.
He doing it.
Didn't China collaborate with Muammar Gaddafi to basically?
But they come from us anyway. But they still come from us. You see what I'm saying?
Of course.
They still come from us.
I'm just trying to figure out if they now use that opportunity to still try.
They probably did. But Chinese people do know. They know, because you got Chinese people look dark and way younger. They have all this street. They got, even their hair is kinky.
Oh yes. The original ones. And the
You don't see the kinky hair?
And the indigenous
saying like a Thai or like South Asian, but not like Chinese.
South Asian. It's from the south on up. When you look at the dude, look up. I had to research this guy Kinko's. I had to research this dude. Kinko's, the guy on Kinko's. Everybody go copy this stuff. It's called Kinko's because his hair is kinky. Yes. Research him. Look him up. Go around, look him up. I'm telling you.
Yeah, we know that the Japanese.
If you see this dude, they talk about his kinky hair. That's where Kinko's comes from. When you start studying all this stuff, you see everything starts falling into place. Everything starts falling into place. It's not hidden from you. It's right in front of your face.
Yes, it is.
But we keep focusing on slavery so much. They say, oh brother, we were mixed with this and mixed with that. No, they were mixed with you. They're more mixed than anybody else.
Exactly.
Which one is that?
If you ask yourself, fine too. If you ask
Oh, heck yeah, that's the original ones. That's the original ones. When you see those people, my son, one of my sons called me, he said, Dad, I got a guy that was born in China, he looked darker than you. He said, Dad, you gotta come down and meet him. I'll go down and meet the dude, darker than you. He said, I was born and raised in China.
Yes, indeed.
But they don't show that on TV. Why is that? But when you go over there and you travel, you start seeing all this stuff. And if you say that, they'll say, dude, I'm not black. I'm X, Y, and Z. But you keep saying black. And if you say Moreno, Morisco, Maroon, or something like that, they'll say, okay, I'm a boy, I got that. Look up the Dalit people. The Dalit people from India. And that was
essentially everyone is a Moor.
And that's what I'm saying. All of us were. And that's what put us under this one umbrella. When you say that, it puts you under the umbrella as a nation of people. So I'm speaking in Spanish, I'm saying the same thing in English. So it only brought us under one umbrella as other subcultures that came after that.
Exactly.
You could be Blackfoot, Choctaw, Nanco, all that. Those are still us too. But as an umbrella, as a nation of people. And that's what Noble Drawley was bringing at the time. Saying, because he was a Cherokee. See what I'm saying? All of this is there. That's what he was doing, is saying we was this. I can show you through movies, dude. They telling us all the way around. Black Knight with Martin Lawrence was one of the dumbest movies, dude.
Oh my God.
That was a dumb
That was just a waste of.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. It's only for those that
Probably
can
not a
catch
waste,
it.
but it was dumb.
It was stupid. It was stupid. But it was the playoff of our people today. If you tell our people we're Moors, we say, man, I don't want this Moor thing. Watch the movie when he was talking about it. He said, he tired of this Moor thing more and more. Because he was unconscious of who he was. So he went back in time, I think it was the 1500s, he went back in time at the exact same place in Normandy. There's a Normandy street in LA. I didn't even know that until I went there.
It's one here too, brother.
It's one here too?
Yes, sir.
So now, why are we using streets as Normandy? To look up the word Normandy. Start looking up all these words, and it'll blow your mind. You'll be like, damn. They're telling on themselves, but you're not looking for that.
Right.
They have to tell you though.
Yeah, they're gonna have to. They told you Black Knight was stupid, but he was talking. He was talking. But he was, and at the end of the movie, he said, I got it. When he went into the water, he became unconscious. Remember he fell, he was going through the whole spill, and he went off and fell into the water? So what happens when you're underwater?
You're more connected.
You become unconscious.
Then you're also
right?
Like Nostradamus.
What happens when you get hit in your head?
Visions.
You become unconscious. So the judge bangs the mallet in the courtroom 3 times for y'all people all the time. All right. That means that you have been mentally knocked in your head and knocked unconscious, and you don't even know it. This is why they go into the whole spill of Hiram being raised from an upright, perpendicular, straight up on the square, because you're in a shadow grave. You're in a shadow grave, not a deep grave. It's shadow, which means that you can be raised up.
Yes, if you want to.
That's all this is. They know our history, yo, better than we know.
They want to keep it as far away from us.
So I say, teachers who are teachers, teach our people the truth. I say teach it even if it costs you your job. That's how I feel. Teach home. We've been doing that. The first colleges wasn't at a university like that. They started in rooms like this, doing research. They just started enrolling people. Look it up. Look it up. They started having people pay fees. They built it. When I was actually in Muskogee, whatever that is, in Oklahoma, you know what the dude said? He said, we was competing in baseball. As the guys talking about the baseball team, he said, we was competing in baseball. We would always get beat by the Negro Leagues. You know what he said? We bought the damn team. That's what they did. They bought the whole team, he said. So there's no more competition no more. So now, what happens? They're going to be broke up. I'm sitting there looking at this like, this guy is telling everything. I'm sitting like, I wish our people just know this. I'm watching this. What happened? And we sit here arguing over silly stuff about things that we didn't even research. This is why I say, don't take what I say, just look up everything I'm telling you, but be truthful and honest with yourself. When you find it, just be truthful and then teach people. That's it. I don't want you to follow me. I don't want you to do any of that. Just research it and teach your children. That's it. Don't deal with emotions. Because if you're emotional, they can control you. People don't realize that.
Sure can.
This is why they don't want you to deal with anything pertaining to Moors. They're going to keep saying, well, Moors is this, the Moors is that. Well, where's your proof at, bro? The Moors enslaved Africans. Well, where? Show me the proof. Did he show you a picture of somebody? They were like, dude, how? Okay, the brother that shot me, do I blame everybody that shot me? Do I blame y'all in this room for shooting me? No. So how are you going to take one group of people, or a few, and say, oh, they enslaved Africans, when Africans and Moors are the same damn people? That's an oxymoron. It's silly for us to be doing it. Listen, y'all. Listen, I tune into the show, y'all, every Friday. I do the show every Friday, and I do have stuff up online. The old shows are on YouTube. Y'all want to go to any closing questions from anybody? But I have DVDs and books on that table. Those books that were just being passed around is for sale for 2 to 10 hours. That's all I have. I ain't been home yet. Any closing remarks from this?
So you're just going to say something in reference to the name change?
Oh, that's what my brother wanted me to do real quick. And actually, I used to do that with consultation with people, but I explain this to y'all real quick. And let me explain this. People get upset about this, and I tell people, anybody tell y'all, if you got to pay $500 or $1,000, brother, don't do it. It's your birthright. What happens, you just proclaim who you are. That's what Noble Drew Ali said, proclaim who you are. That is the Emancipation Proclamation. It means to be set free and proclaim who you are. I can't sell that to you. I can only acknowledge that. So what I do is tell people to create a paper trail. That's how you do it. When I went to go get my passport, they kept asking me for all kinds of stuff. And I said, no, I didn't go through the course to change my name. Why would I? I said, y'all didn't go to court to take my name. So again, you got to understand. So if it's not you, if it doesn't apply, let it fly. You know, we let it go. It had nothing to do with it. So what you do is start writing your name down on everything. Because that's who you are and being acknowledged by your people. You don't have to go to court to do that. People don't realize that. That's asking permission. Malcolm X, go look up what Malcolm X did in 1963, 64, one of them. He was on the TV show, and they asked him a question, did you go to court to change your name? He said, well, y'all didn't go to court to take my name. If that doesn't, like, you can't call a Chinese something under what he is. You see what I'm saying? So all you got to do is start writing it down and everything. And I tell people to do that. Put down your name, X relationship with your former name. And just keep creating a paper trail. Whatever title you want it to be, you just keep creating that paper trail. After I think 6 or 7 years, that's who you are. This is how it is. But you constantly bombard them with that information. Because now it's your name and your nationality. That's who you are. And this is why you should look up the Declaration of the Rights of a Child that our parents did not teach us. Wow. In 1954, I think it was, 1948. Why aren't people not talking about the Declaration of the Rights of a Child? You see what I'm saying? Those are the documents that you're supposed to have with you. So when they say that crazy stuff, well, brother, you gotta go, no, I don't. This is what it is right here. It says this. You don't have to ask nobody. You just start creating it yourself. Just keep constantly creating the paper trail. Even if they send you something in the mail that has your former name. See, I'm careful about a lot of stuff too. I tell people, because people have other issues, they be like, oh, I want to get out and pay child support. You know, that type of stuff. I'm for real. I can't become, well, brother, you know, I want to get, no, man, pay your child support. Talk to your baby's mom. You know what I mean? Have a relationship with her. I mean, I can't tell you how to do it, but talk to her. You know what I mean? I don't want, because people take this and say, well, I'm going to change my name to get out child support. And you do the same niggerish stuff again. You see what I'm saying? And that's the problem. That's why I be very cautious about saying that to people, but I can't stop you from dealing with your nationality. That's who you are. You have your Noble Drew Ali said, nationality is the order of the day. Deal with your nationality. That's what he was bringing. So whatever title you want to pick, as far as name-wise, then do it. Just keep creating the paper trail. But I tell people, don't do it just to get out of something, a traffic ticket, or that's law. That's something totally different. That's a law thing. But as far as your name, they start proclaiming it. That's it. It is that simple. The only thing I can do is acknowledge that. Who you are. That's all. All right, any other question? And actually, again, I have law dictionaries on PD on the disc back there too for 10 hours. But I have stuff on the table. Any other question? Say it again.
Oh no, I was just agreeing with you.
Yeah, you was somebody else.
It's important to know the laws.
Hey man, you better know this law.
It's so important.
Carter G. Woodson said this.
It'll get you out of so
Carter G. Woodson said, you must know the laws. This is what he said. In the interpretations of the court. You gotta know them. Because people talk about what the law is every day.
100%.
Tell me, the cab driver was telling me when she was dropping me off again, because I'm always catching cabs and I have these conversations with them. She said, I don't understand what's the purpose of having a seatbelt. This is what she said to me. She's no lie. She said, I don't know what the purpose. She said, if I hurt myself, why you care? I said, because it's your property. This is what I told her. Straight up. She said, I feel safe. She said, I was in an accident when my car chunked up died down. She said, if I had a seatbelt on, she said, I would have been dead.
Especially if she has a birth certificate.
But I said that. But Bob Marley said this too. Go listen to Bob Marley joint called 3 O'Clock Roadblock. Listen to that track. He says through the whole joint, he said, he said, Mr. Officer, you have no birth certificate on me, man. Go listen to Bob Marley's 3 O'Clock Roadblock.
Get out of here.
He also said why they kill our prophets. It's a message always in the music.
Yes.
But seatbelts don't save you. Seatbelts are secondary.
Yes.
People don't understand that. If it really was a law, then why they don't have no buses or school buses when you put your children on?
That's right.
Critical thinking. Why? But you put your children on the bus every day, but you make sure you click it. They didn't come up with a slogan. You know, understand they have people on the sidelines writing these things down, click it, a ticket. They promise. They do it. But you put your children on the bus and don't question it. You research this information you already know. You don't have to sit back and say, I'm not just going to make up anything, I'm going to show you. And when I left, one was a prosecutor, he was the first black attorney, they said, in Texas. He was in the room. He had to be the one sitting in the front row. And there was 2 other ones that were sitting there. Neither one of them said I was wrong in what I was talking about. And this is what happens. When you know what you're talking about, believe me, they're going to shut up and say, oh, he's a problem. Let's get the other
Tell me about it.
Let's get the other nigga to go again. How much you got a case? We're going to explain your case. This is how they operate, dude.
Oh, yeah.
So they always got to have some dirt on you some kind of way. People don't realize that. How much money you got from us? 100-something thousand, no problem. You're going to shut up. We're going to expose you. This is how it is. So again, I want to thank everybody, y'all.
Thank you.
I want to thank my brother Jeff. If y'all didn't get this, I would say get this DVD, but I have a lot of stuff back there on the table, y'all. And I want to constantly have a workshop with this all the time. And I said this in Houston. I said y'all should have round table discussions and workshops with all this information. Like I told the sister in San Antonio and in Houston, let's constantly keep doing this. Let people get this information, the books, all the books that you need, from the law books to the regular dictionary, and just start studying, having round table discussions. So when y'all go to y'all town hall meetings, you know what the hell they talking about. They speak a total different language. They use Latin all day long in court on y'all. And you be sitting back there, yeah, I know, yeah. You be in court, yeah, you understand the charges? Yes, sir. Do you? You understand Latin? Because when I say amicus curiae and probi persona, you be, but you say you understand the charges. Huh?
They'll use trick questions.
Yeah, they use trick questions.
These
But
questions, when you
even
can
the
oppose
word,
them.
even the word, look up this word before we get out of here. Look up the word understand.
Overstand.
Understand is a contract. Look it up in the law.
It is.
It is.
What is it?
It is.
Understand, like the word understand is a contract. So watch what they do in court. They say, do you understand the charges? And you say yes. You just made a verbal contract.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
People don't even get it.
Do you believe in the words, I do not consent?
No, I don't consent, because you don't consent. Consent, if you're a minority, and they call our people minorities, how can a minor give his consent anyway? Minors can't give consent.
The power of them, do they have power?
No, they don't.
Okay.
But what happens, you're a minority. You see what I'm saying? Black call themselves minorities, right? So how can a minor enter contracts? They can't. They children. Grown adults have a childlike mentality. But understand is a contract, so they ask you trick questions in these courtrooms. Do you understand the charge? You're like, yeah, I do. You swear to tell the truth? Yeah, I do that too. You're lying. Because truth means the facts, which is the present, which is the now. What they do is deal with past tense and future tenses. Facts is the present. This is all court stuff they deal with people. And we do it all day long.
Understand.
Go ahead. This.
Understand, to know, to apprehend the meaning, to appreciate, as to understand the nature, the nature and effect of an act. International Great Northern, our code, what is it?
That's the code.
That's the code?
That's the case.
That's the law code?
That's the case.
Oh, okay. Well, basically to have a full and clear knowledge of, to comprehend, thus to invalidate a deed on the ground that the grantor did not understand the nature of the act. The grantor must be incapable of comprehending that the effect of an act with the vice.
You can stop right there. Let's stop right there. I'm gonna show you something. So they're gonna give it to you. You don't understand what they're talking about because you don't speak their language.
Right.
But you just consented to it.
Exactly. Yep.
They play trick words with y'all. And this is what they're doing. Constantly, all day long, I'm watching court TV, I'm like, so man, somebody doing work and you see this crazy, you be like, you don't understand a damn thing they just said. They over here talking some out of space stuff, and you be like, yeah, I understand the charges. No, you don't. I need to know the nature. Who was hurt? Where's the injured party? Because the law is only civil and criminal. The other ones are contracts. So if you got an injured party or you want some money from me, that's how it's set up. The other ones are fractions and stuff like that. There's not laws. That's why we tell people to do law dictionary. You got from 1 to 7, 6. You got Bouvier's, Valentine's, Blackstone. When you start digging into this stuff, that's how you empower the people to make the change. Not by me preaching to you. That's why I said I'd rather have workshops than just sit up there and do lectures. So we can go through these things and you can empower yourself and you can pass that stuff on. So again, I want to thank everybody for coming out, y'all. I got something 9 years in prison.